You and I are about to watch the wildest family drama unfold. My dad is the wealthiest guy around, but my only goal? Completely cutting ties with this toxic family. Today brought another massive blow-up. Just hand over $10 million, and I will leave the city right now, I told them straight. I promise I will not bother you people for a single second ever again. My dad, Richard Sterling, glared hard. Do you seriously want to sever ties this badly? My mom, Laura, just scowled at me. Arthur, there has to be a hard limit to these tantrums. You are 17, literally a minor. If you run away, where exactly do you plan to go? I just scoffed and rolled my eyes. Where I end up is absolutely 0% your business. Mom turned pale, her voice actually shaking. Arthur, I am your biological mother. If I do not care about you, who else will? I let out a harsh laugh. Biological mom? Hilarious. Rotting in that orphanage for 17 years. I never got the memo that I had a mother. You ignored me for 17 whole years. And now, you suddenly decide to remember I exist? Are you two finished playing the caring parent role? Know your place. And right on cue, the fake young master, started crying. Tears filled his eyes as he took a step back. Mom, I will leave. I will be totally fine surviving out there alone. I'm not scared. Laura immediately rushed over to grab him. Where are you going? You are a true son of the Sterling family. You are staying right here. Then she shot a furious glare straight at me. Was that mix-up in the past really Colin's fault? He was literally just a newborn baby. I smirked at them. Do you guys lack basic logic? Or are your brains just completely broken? $10 million and we are done. Where I go has absolutely nothing to do with you. You ignored me for over a decade. Way too late to play the caring parents now. You only have one reputation, so why not try keeping a tiny shred of dignity? Pay attention here, because things escalate fast. Dad scowled. Arthur, we are your biological parents and legal guardians. You are still a minor. You are not going anywhere. You stay in this house. Neither you nor Colin will be leaving. I frowned hard. I am allergic to fake people. I refuse to live with the guy who has more toxic schemes than brain cells. Seeing I was dead set on leaving, Mom's eyes actually teared up. Arthur, we are family. Can we please just sit down and talk peacefully? I shoved my hands in my pockets, my face turning completely ice cold. I just find that little brat incredibly annoying. What will you do about it? If you want me staying around, he has to pack up and get out. Pick one. Your real son, or your fake pet of 17 years. Colin, tears streaming down his face, chimed in with a shaky voice. Mom, Dad, if he despises me that much, I will leave. This house was always supposed to belong to him, anyway. Mom wiped his tears, looking absolutely heartbroken. Total nonsense. You are my most precious son. Nobody has the right to kick you out. I clenched my fists, muttering quietly under my breath. Where is Grandpa? If this terrible acting keeps up, I might actually throw punches just to teach them some manners. Dad glared and yelled at me. Arthur, how are you so vicious? Colin is only 17. Chasing him out is basically sending the boy to his doom. I replied with a completely deadpan expression. Oh, yep, you caught me. I want him gone. If you have a problem with that, call the police. Dad pointed at the door, roaring loudly. Get out of here. Get out, and never return. I just laughed with pure disdain. As if I cared about this shiny, Sterling mansion of yours. I know what you are thinking. I leave, right? Well, Colin suddenly grabbed my arm, begging me. Brother, please do not go. You are their real son. I am the one who needs to leave. But before finishing his fake speech, he let out a dramatic, piercing shriek. 3 terrifying screams echoed throughout the large villa, so loud that Grandpa, just stepping through the front door, easily heard it. Colin, pale as a ghost, threw himself right into Mom's arms, sobbing like crazy. It hurts so much, Mom. She hugged him tight, comforting him. Colin, do not panic. Mom will call a doctor for you right away. Through his sobs, Colin managed to squeeze out one line. Mom, do not blame him. He never meant to do it. Hearing him act innocent, Mom charged right at me. Without a word, she quickly raised her hand to slap me. I sneered, catching her wrist in an absolute vice grip. With one firm push, I sent Mother Sterling stumbling backward until she hit the floor. Oops, just gravity. Dad instantly bellowed. Arthur, you dare lay a hand on your mother? You completely ungrateful brat. He raised his hand, ready to strike me down. I laughed coldly. Old man, I have tolerated you people for way too long. Today, I'm not just tossing her aside. I'm not sparing you either. I grabbed his wrist and delivered a swift kick, sending him flying. Right at that exact crazy moment, Grandpa and my eldest sister, Tiffany, walked into the living room, arriving perfectly in time to witness me kicking my dad across the room. I dusted my hands off, showing pure contempt. You and I know he deserved that. Want to fight? Train for 10 years. Grandpa coughed awkwardly. What on earth is happening here? Seeing Grandpa, Colin's tears fell like a broken dam. Grandpa, it is my fault. I should not have stayed. Stick with me. You're going to love this drama. Grandpa frowned. What exactly happened? I just smiled faintly. They wanted to hit me, so I struck back in self-defense. Is that wrong? Grandpa's face softened slightly. Even so, they are your biological parents, he said. I snorted. Biologically, sure, but parents? Hardly. My mother helped my furious father up, practically gritting her teeth at old Grandpa. Dad, if he hates the Sterling family so much, let him leave. But he gets absolutely zero money from us. I just gave a casual, uncaring shrug. No money? Totally fine. Let us see what the big newspaper headlines will say tomorrow. Shocking. The wealthy Sterling family's eldest young master is a total fake. Meanwhile, the real son gets kicked straight to the curb without a single dime. Does that sound catchy enough for everyone? My father's eyes rolled in rage. You wouldn't dare, I replied calmly. Watch me. Then Colin started his annoying sobbing routine again. Let me go. If I just leave, he can stay. Hearing him whine again made me snap. Darn it. Cry. 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 Is that literally all you do? Every single time I see you, I want to slap you silly. Acting like a perfect saint while playing the poor little victim. Do you really think you are some kind of Buddha? My mother quickly shielded Colin, glaring pure fire. Trembling with absolute anger, my father turned right to Grandpa. Dad. See this? His awful nature hasn't changed. He actually dares to hit his own parents. I refuse to acknowledge this wild son. I sneered, as if I am desperate to be yours. With your IQ, counting the moon at night and the sun by day is your true limit. Watch closely here, things get intense. My father looked totally disgusted, pulled a card from his pocket, and slammed it down. 5 million. You know the pin. Take it and get out of the Sterling house. I grabbed the card, smiling with pure mockery. 5 million? Are you trying to shoo away a random beggar? Fine, I have nothing left to say. I am out. But then Grandpa's loud voice suddenly rang out. Hold on there. I didn't turn around. What else? Grandpa sounded deep and steady. Come back to the ancestral home with me. My mother shrieked. Dad, Arthur is so violent. He hit his own parents. You cannot take him there. Grandpa immediately snapped back at her. Shut up. The Sterling family's true flesh and blood will absolutely never wander the streets alone. If you refuse to care for your son for an outsider, I, as his grandfather, cannot be biased. He did not even bother looking at them anymore. His gaze softened toward me completely. Arthur, you are the real grandson of the Sterling family. If you hate living here, just come with me. My father was utterly shocked. Dad, are you truly taking Arthur to the main ancestral home? Grandpa crossed his arms, shooting a cold glare. Yes, Arthur comes with me. Do not bother us again. In 7 days, we will host a banquet to officially announce Arthur's true identity. Colin gripped his sleeves tightly, asking in a trembling voice. Grandpa, what about me? You all saw this coming, right? Grandpa glanced indifferently. We do not raise outsiders. I will have someone locate your biological mother. Colin's face completely drained of color. His lips turned white, eyes rolled back, and he totally fainted. My mother stared at Grandpa with deeply reproachful eyes. Colin has been with our family for 17 years. How can you be so totally heartless to him? Eldest sister Tiffany finally spoke up. Mom, are you actually blaming Grandpa? My mother panicked immediately. No, Dad. I'm just too worried about poor Colin. Grandpa frowned hard at my father. I told you before, a foolish wife brings ruin to 3 whole generations. Look at yourself now. Where are Vanessa, Riley, and Nora? My mother quickly bowed her head apologetically. Dad, I'm so sorry. I forgot to inform Vanessa and the girls. It is my mistake. Please do not be angry with me. I will call them right now. I smirked. Mrs. Sterling, save your energy. Those cheap sisters do not even consider me their real brother. In their eyes, only that whiny brat Colin is their precious sibling. I rolled up my sleeves, revealing arms covered in heavy bruises. Do not ask how. Just yesterday, those twin sisters came looking for me, warning me never to steal Colin's place. These dark bruises are their actual handiwork. My mother retorted without thinking. That is impossible. Riley and Nora would never hit anyone. I chuckled coldly. Do not believe me? Just check the security cameras. I still remember one of them has a dark mole on her nose tip. My mother was completely stunned, unable to speak. Grandpa frowned deeply and turned to Tiffany. Tiffany, go to the Sterling family official website right now. Publicly announce Arthur's identity. Invite all the powerful city families to attend a grand Sterling family banquet in 7 days. And buy your brother some decent clothes. With that, Grandpa left the villa. Tiffany took the front, while Grandpa and I sat back. Trust me, you will want to see what's next. Let's dive right in. Grandpa looked at me and actually shivered. He had survived the battlefield and witnessed pure destruction. But the second I held that 5 million card, he sensed an overwhelming aura of pure danger radiating from me. He knew right then, if he let me walk away, the entire Sterling family was headed for absolute, catastrophic ruin. Arthur, do not worry about Colin. The Sterling family will handle this. I just smiled lazily. No need, Grandpa. I will handle Colin myself. He frowned deeply. Do not act on impulse, he warned. I just rolled my eyes with a cheerful smirk. What? Is Grandpa terrified I will lose control and completely end him? Tiffany instantly snapped, her eyes wide open. Taking a life is illegal. Roughing him up is fine. We will cover for you. Grandpa's tone finally softened. Arthur, we solve problems step by step. Erasing people isn't the only option here. I just burst out laughing. Hey, I'm just joking around. Do not be so serious. I am a cheerful 17-year-old kid. How would I even take someone out? Grandpa quickly changed the subject. You are 17. You definitely belong in high school. Southgate High is the city's absolute best. How about I arrange a transfer? The rest of the ride was completely silent. We finally pulled up to the Grand View ancestral estate. Meanwhile, back at the main villa, Colin was cradling his hilariously swollen face. The three Sterlings looked absolutely miserable. Suddenly, the twins, Riley and Nora, shoved the door wide open. Watch closely, things are heating up. Their jaws basically dropped. Colin, what happened to your face? We will get payback. Colin, with tears welling up in his eyes, cried, Sisters, it is all my fault. I shouldn't have stayed. Nora jumped up, absolutely furious. Tell me who hit you. Mother sighed heavily. It was Arthur. Nora totally exploded, clenching her fists tight. Where is that jerk? He actually dared to touch Colin? I will destroy him. Mother replied tiredly. Grandpa took him to the ancestral home. Both sisters gasped in pure shock. What? Nora was seeing red. He beat Colin like this. Such a vicious brute. Why would Grandpa let him stay there? Father asked coldly. Did you secretly find Arthur and bully him? Nora nodded. Yeah, we did. That trashy place he lived in was so filthy, it completely ruined my limited edition designer shoes. Father's face instantly darkened, glaring right at them. He quickly explained today's events, waving his hand in utter frustration. In 7 days, Grandpa is hosting a massive banquet to announce Arthur. Even if you hate him, fake a smile. And that night, absolutely nobody was getting any sleep. Tiffany dropped a massive bombshell online. She revealed Arthur and Colin were switched at birth, officially announcing the 7-day banquet. You know what happens next. The internet went totally wild over this. Real life true versus fake. Young master drama. Vanessa Sterling, your precious brother Colin is a total fake. As the second sister, do you have anything to say? Now, about Vanessa. She was a rebellious teen chasing idol fame. Honestly, she sang like a dying duck and danced terribly, only staying relevant because of the family's massive wealth. Meanwhile, Colin clutched his phone tightly, glaring at all the brutal online comments on Weibo, his eyes burning with resentment. Vanessa called instantly. Colin, are you okay? Second sister, I am fine, do not worry. But what is Arthur's deal? Why did eldest sister announce everything publicly? And why is Grandpa taking him straight to the ancestral home? What is Grandpa even thinking? Letting him stay there. Listen, second sister is coming back right now to support you. That banquet is in 7 days, right? I'm going to completely humiliate him in front of that entire crowd. The next morning, Tiffany sat in her office, totally confused, staring at a photo of me wearing a green delivery helmet. She screamed into the phone, Arthur, are you staying out all night? I told her to hold the phone further away. I just laughed. Eldest sister, have some business to handle. Do not worry, I will be back for the banquet. What? Gone for 6 whole days? What kind of teenager business takes all night? Look, the light is finally green. Bye, sister. Remember to cover for me with grandpa. I hung up. The light turned green, and my electric scooter zoomed away. Following the GPS, I happily wandered around the city outskirts. Along the way, I casually saved a kid from some street thugs, dusted off my sleeves, and rode away like a total boss. Little did I know, someone secretly recorded it and posted it online. I was completely, blissfully oblivious. Right before sunset, I reached a mountain village. I paid 200 yuan to spend the night at a sweet old lady's house. She enthusiastically brought out a massive, steaming bowl of noodles perfectly topped with the fried egg. So where do we go from here? As she asked about my family, I just quietly stared at the rising steam. Ever since childhood, I have always felt drawn to mountains. Let us dive in. I heard Duen Village sits near massive mountains, a perfect spot. But watch closely. The old lady suddenly panicked, frantically waving her frail hands around. You cannot go. Last month, people heard wolves howling up there. I rubbed my chin. I understand. Thank you, Grandma Duen. I devoured those noodles in just 3 bites and snuck away. 2 hours later, under the dark night sky, I sat cross-legged deep inside the mountains. The spiritual energy here felt incredibly dense, totally different from the city. 5 glowing orbs swirled all around me. I laughed out loud. Ah, the legendary Thunderpath. Rare, even in 10,000 years. Those ancient rivals who hunted me in my past life could never guess that after my epic rebirth, I would hit such a massive jackpot. Taking a deep breath, I intensely stared at those purple glowing specks. Come to Papa, my little beauties. I will cherish you so much. Poof! My grand fantasy shattered. I opened my eyes, discovering the sun was already high up above. I completely failed. While I focused entirely on cultivating, totally ignoring the outside world, the Sterling ancestral estate surprisingly welcomed a few very important guests. Mr. Quincy, the proud patriarch of the Kai family, spoke. Where is the Sterling family biological grandson? Grandpa replied very calmly. Arthur is not here right now. If you need anything, please tell me. Mr. Quincy smiled brightly. Old master, the situation is this. My youngest son recently returned from his studies abroad. On his journey back, thugs attacked him. Thankfully, your brave grandson completely saved him. Today, I brought Dylan here to express our deepest thanks. He placed a shiny bank card on the tea table. This card has no password. Consider this a token of our sincere gratitude. Moving forward, if Arthur needs anything at all, just ask me. Grandpa slowly nodded. Arthur is absent, but I will deliver your kind gratitude. Mr. Quincy smiled warmly. Then I will leave everything to you, old master. Deep inside the mountains, I wrestled endlessly with those purple glowing specks. Finally, on the second day, one single bright speck absorbed into my body. Now pay attention here. Thousands of glowing specks rushed in. I opened my eyes, totally amazed. But wait, I suddenly smelled something absolutely terrible. Looking down, I saw my whole body completely covered in dark, nasty impurities forcefully expelled from my pores. I almost threw up. I quickly formed a hand seal, casting a powerful cleansing spell to wash myself spotless. I planned to stay up in these mountains, cultivating for one more night before leaving the very next morning. Just before entering a deep meditative state, my ears caught an agonizing wolf howl. I rushed over and found a white mother wolf collapsed on the ground. I pointed right at her swollen belly. Having a difficult labor, huh? I narrowed my eyes at her severe wounds. This kind of spirit wolf was unbelievably rare in this declining age. Those nasty wounds were definitely caused by another cultivator. I spoke to her softly. You cannot hold on much longer. Need my help? Relax. I am a great guy. If your little pups stay trapped inside, they will suffocate. The mother wolf stared at me for a long moment, whimpered softly, and slowly lowered her head. I reached out, gently touching her belly, and transferred a soothing stream of spiritual energy inside. About 20 minutes later, I placed 2 tiny wolf pups, one black and one white, right before her. The mother wolf was barely holding on. She struggled to gently clean her newborn babies, then spat out a small pouch. My eyes instantly lit up. A magical spatial storage bag. She pushed the mysterious bag toward me, taking one final look at her sweet pups. I grinned broadly. Do not worry, they are adorable. I will protect them. Hearing those words, the mother wolf slowly closed her eyes. I buried her respectfully, and left the mountain before dawn. This entire trip was a massive success. I scored 2 rare spirit wolf pups and an epic storage bag. You and I both know this is insane. Inside the bag sat tons of snacks, plus enough crazy lucky loot to brag about forever. At noon the following day, I rode my electric scooter back to Grandview Manor Estate, but security blocked the gate. I had absolutely no choice but to awkwardly wait for my eldest sister under a tree. While I was chilling, an ear-piercing voice rang out loudly. Ew, where did this country bumpkin originate? I looked up, seeing an arrogant girl sitting on a badass motorcycle, glaring down at me with absolute, pure disdain. I laughed coldly. I do not know if I am a country bumpkin, but you are definitely about to get a serious lesson. That is a total guarantee. Chloe Chandler raised an eyebrow, smirking. With that incredibly scrawny frame of yours, you really think you can beat me? Skinny as a twig, yet talking big. Who gave you that funny confidence? I smiled. Casually, I slapped one hand onto her motorcycle and applied a little pressure. The metal chassis instantly caved inward with the massive dent. If your mouth smells like a toilet, go lick a dirty toilet bowl. Does it not stink when you keep jumping around? Right then, Tiffany ran over, frowning deeply. What is going on here? I shrugged. Nothing. Just met a person whose mouth only spouts garbage. Tiffany looked over at Chloe. Oh, the second miss of the Chandler family. Chloe scoffed loudly. Tiffany Sterling, is this actually your brother? He wrecked my bike. What now? Tiffany stared at me. Trust me, you and I must see what happens next. Stick with me. You are about to see a wild payback. Yeah, I did it. She called me a bumpkin. How could I not retaliate? Tiffany massaged her temples, nursing a massive headache. Miss Chandler, younger brother simply knows no better. The Sterling family will cover all the repairs. Chloe shot me an interested look. Fine. She hopped right into Tiffany's car, patting the leather back seat. Tiffany, my bike is completely wrecked. Give me a ride. Tiffany turned around and shouted, Arthur, get in the passenger seat. I pointed at my electric scooter. No need. I brought my own ride. Just tell security not to block me next time. Chloe rolled the window down, watching me closely. The supposed young master of the massive Sterling family, and they refuse to even give you a car and driver. They make you ride this absolute piece of junk. I shot her a cold look. Did your brain short circuit? Or are you just naturally this clueless? With that, I snapped on my helmet, revved the throttle, and zoomed straight into the Grandview estate. Chloe, practically choking on my scooter exhaust, turned and smiled sweetly at Tiffany. I heard the Sterling family is throwing a massive banquet. Have the VIP invitations reached the Chandler family yet? I think I will come join the fun. She narrowed her eyes, packed with hidden meaning. She realized I looked super familiar, like that heroic kid from the other day. Turns out, I am the true biological son of the Sterling family. The Sterling twin sisters completely spoiled Colin to an absurd degree, despite having zero biological relation. A few days ago, Vanessa even tagged him online, proudly calling him her forever real brother. Now pay attention. This upcoming banquet is going to be absolute chaos. Back at the ancestral home, Grandpa stared at 2 pups, completely dumbfounded. Arthur, you went out just to buy puppies? I firmly corrected him. These are wolf pups, just born. They haven't even had milk yet. Grandpa, can you have someone bring a female goat over? Grandpa stayed completely silent for a moment. Arthur, you cannot raise wolves in this city. I crinkled my eyes into a smile. I know. I will just keep them in the yard. I will not take them out. Do not worry, they will never bite. Grandpa frowned deeply. Wolves have a wild, untamable nature. They might not bite now, but when they grow up, who knows? Tiffany chimed in. Exactly, brother. Wolves are pure danger. I hugged both pups, looking at them calmly. I know what you are worried about, but these are not normal wolves. They are magical demon wolves. As long as I am here, they will harm no one. Tiffany frowned. Arthur, are you reading too many fantasy novels? How can the ancestral home keep wolves? I honestly could not be bothered to explain. I looked directly at Grandpa. Grandpa, what do you say? His eyes flickered instantly, as if he suddenly remembered something. His pupils contracted, his face entirely changing color. He stared at me intently, his voice filled with heavy caution. Arthur, who exactly are you? I smiled brightly. Instantly, from my fingertip, a tiny spark of blue lightning crackled. With one flick of my wrist, the lightning bolt struck the study's corner, leaving a deep scorch mark. Do not worry, Grandpa. I am your true biological grandson. I just know a little bit of magic. Let that sink in for a second. Grandpa sat in total silence, stunned. His grandson had actually discovered immortal cultivation. He thought deeply for a moment, then finally compromised. Arthur, as long as these wolves behave and never bite anyone, you can raise them in the yard. I smirked slightly. Thank you, Grandpa. Grandpa just smiled back. Your new suit for tomorrow has been sent straight to your room. Your parents will also be attending. Arthur, I know you find them annoying. They are getting old and foolish, clearly favoring an adopted child with zero biological TIs over you. But they are still your real biological parents. I raised one eyebrow. Grandpa, how about we make a fun bet? I bet that tomorrow at the banquet, someone will definitely try to mess with me. Specifically, Vanessa and her sisters. If I lose, I will take the initiative and make total peace with Richard and Laura. If I win, from now on, you stay completely out of whatever happens between me and them. Grandpa frowned. Arthur, the Sterling family has absolute rules. You cannot lay hands on biological family members. Even though Vanessa and the sisters did not grow up by my side, they know the family rules. I stared at him. Grandpa, just say if you take the bet or not. Grandpa was taken aback. He thought for a moment, and finally said, fine. This old man will gladly take your bet. I smiled. Then I will head downstairs. These two little pups are about to completely starve. Wait. Grandpa suddenly pulled a black card from his drawer. This is the card the Quincy family gave you. The kid you saved the other day is actually the Quincy family's young master. This is their thank you gift. I did not decline, casually shoving the card into my pocket. Got it. I will take it. With that, I turned and headed to the backyard. I placed the two little pups on the grass. They whimpered softly a few times, and seeing that I brought no food, they simply curled up against my legs, one left, one right, and quickly fell asleep. I propped my chin in my hand, deep in thought. Suddenly, a large shadow blocked the sun. A mysterious man appeared. Trust me, you will want to see what happens next. Lucas Sterling raised one eyebrow, smirking. You are my brother Richard's biological son. What is your name again? Let us dive right in. I simply ignored him. Lucas just laughed, flopping down onto the grass. Nephew, what is your name? Why ignore me? It is your youngest uncle, Lucas. The old man really favors you, actually letting you stay at the main ancestral home. I only get to come back and sleep here for one night. Sometimes, any longer, and I get completely kicked out. Seriously. Why does the old man have this absolutely massive mansion, but refuses to let his own kids and grandkids live inside? No other family has a crazy rule like this. He is incredibly stubborn. He stared at me briefly, then suddenly slapped his leg. I totally get it. You just look way more like my mom than I do. I was speechless. Uncle Lucas, has anyone ever told you that you talk way too much? He winked and smiled. Nope, you are the first. I grabbed the two wolf pups, dusted my pants, and stood to leave. Surprisingly, he stood up and followed me right away, hands stuffed in his pockets, laughing out loud. Nephew, know what the high society circle is whispering right now? They are saying the old man mistook a basic wooden bead for a pearl, dropping an absolute genius grandson, for an orphanage kid. Now watch closely. Tomorrow, even with the old man backing you up, a massive crowd is waiting to see you completely embarrass yourself. I stopped and shot him an intense glare. Are you intentionally here to warn me, uncle? I replied lazily. That is right. I am reminding you not to make the Sterling family lose face tomorrow. I chuckled softly. Uncle, the one losing face tomorrow probably will not be me. He paused. What does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. He narrowed his eyes. You are quite arrogant. The Sterling family is not powerful enough to cover the entire sky in this city, you know. I smirked. I am arrogant because I actually have the power to be. Just wait and watch the show tomorrow, uncle. His eyes shifted slightly, watching my retreating back, deep in thought. Tiffany quickly brought over a dairy cow. The two wolf pups finally got to drink fresh milk. Lucas was totally shocked. Nephew, where did you pick up these two puppies? They look newborn. How could you bear to tear them away from their mother? I glanced at him, found them in a wolf den. Are you joking? He looked right at the two silly, totally helpless little pups. How are these wolves? If you do not believe me, just wait 2 months and see. He drew in a sharp breath. Could it really be true? Why would the old man let you keep something like this? I sat next to the pups, watching them drink, resting my chin on my hand. Maybe because I look like Andy Lau. He was stunned for a second, then asked, "Did you really have a massive fight with your parents? Yesterday, your dad called me, telling me to come back and talk some sense into you." I smiled faintly. "Let me guess. Richard told you to convince me to accept Colin, then tell me to go home, saying both Colin and I are his beloved sons. Zero favoritism." Lucas laughed. "You little brat. Quite rude calling your dad by his first name, but your guess is absolutely spot on." I tilted my head. 17 years ago, I never even knew I had a dad. Now that I am grown up, whether I have parents or not does not really matter. Lucas was unusually quiet. He reached out to ruffle my hair. I dodged it easily. "I hate people touching me." He awkwardly pulled his hand right back. "You little punk. Wasted my entire second of sympathy for you." He coughed. "Anyway, no matter what, they are still your actual biological parents. Colin is loved by your parents, but he lacks their blood. You do not have to fight him to the bitter end over this." I raised a hand to quickly cut him off. "Stop. Do not say these things anymore. I'm afraid I will not be able to hold back, and might just punch you." The next day, the grand banquet was held at the Sterling family's private estate. At 7 p.m., a long line of luxury cars parked outside. Top socialites, young masters, and big names from the upper echelons all finally arrived. Richard's family arrived quite early. Colin sat on a sofa, chatting with two girls. Wendy Lawson patted her chest. "Colin, and if you are not the biological son of the Sterling family, we all grew up together. We are best friends." Natalie looked at him with heartache. "Colin, you are too kind. That is why you get bullied." "Do not worry. The Preston family will absolutely never let me marry a vulgar brute like him. My future husband can only be you." Colin bit his lip. "Wendy, Natalie, do not blame my brother. It is all my fault. I touched him first, so he reacted." "You feel that tension, right?" Natalie stayed resolute. "Colin, watch. I will get revenge for you later." Meanwhile, the twins, Riley and Nora, sat together. Riley said calmly, "Nora, I am warning you. Do not do it. We are part of the Sterling family. Our gains and losses are tied together. Did you forget the family rules?" Nora pouted. "I know, but I cannot swallow this anger. Arthur did not just hit Colin. He dared hit Mom and Dad. He is too arrogant. He must pay." "Do not worry. I just want to embarrass him a little." Riley sighed. "Grandpa is here. Know your limits." Nora smiled brightly. "Relax. I know what I am doing. By the way, where is second sister? She loves Colin the most. She wanted to see Arthur humiliated. Why isn't she here?" Riley shrugged. "Who knows? Trust me, we are going to love what happens next. Probably out playing around." Meanwhile, in the grand banquet hall, the Chandler family's second miss, Chloe, finally makes her stunning appearance. A girl holding a glass of red wine sits elegantly right across from her. "Chloe, don't you absolutely hate these banquets?" Chloe crosses her long legs, completely relaxed. "Who cares what it has to do with you? Here is where we get hooked." They chat, but Chloe keeps watching the door. The other girl sees nothing as the banquet begins. Walking beside Grandpa, I radiate a cold, imposing aura. Every single eye in the hall locks onto me. Grandpa finally speaks. "Welcome everyone to the Sterling family banquet. Meet my real biological grandson, Arthur." Arthur was tragically switched at birth, growing up inside an orphanage. As his grandfather, my heart completely breaks knowing the deep pain he has faced. Today I'm not just introducing Arthur here. I also have a massive announcement to make right on the stage. A smart lawyer pulls a legal document from his briefcase, handing it over. Grandpa proudly holds it high. Before she passed, Arthur's grandmother loved her future grandson so dearly. She deeply regretted missing his birth. This right here is her official will. It declares that if our grandson returns, her 35% shares in the Sterling Group go directly to him. Today I'm also announcing the transfer of 20% of my own Sterling Group share straight to Arthur. A massive total of 55% will officially transfer when he turns 18, effectively making him the ultimate Sterling Group heir. Now watch this. The entire room erupts in shocked gasps as Colin leaps up. "Absolutely." Staring at the document in Grandpa's hand, Richard panics, completely ignoring his pride as he begs, "Dad, letting Arthur inherit the Sterling Group? Isn't that way too rushed?" Grandpa glares fiercely. "Are you questioning my choice?" Richard breaks into a cold sweat, totally terrified to argue with his dad. Afterward, I follow Grandpa around to greet a few old friends, then finally find a smooth excuse to slip into a quiet corner. Right as I go online to buy some talisman paper, I catch a massive whiff of absolute fake innocence standing right nearby. Total manipulator vibes. Brother, it was my fault the other day. I shouldn't have touched you. Come home. Mom and Dad miss you very much. Looking at Colin, I just smile coldly. Colin, is only the two of us here. Why keep acting? Aren't you totally exhausted wearing that mask all day? Colin plays the innocent victim face. I know. You really do not like me. I can just leave the Sterling family. I will even yield Natalie to you. I stand up and walk away. Colin quickly follows, staying close behind. Chloe, who had been watching everything, also stands up and trails right behind us. Navigating the hall, I reach the swimming pool. I stop, instantly noticing some super suspicious ripples in the water. Colin smirks. Brother, why are you walking so fast? Have you thought about what I said? Mom, Dad, and our sisters all truly like you. If you just apologize to Mom and Dad, they will not hold the other day against you. I turn to Colin with a huge smile. Look over there. There seems to be someone inside the pool. Is that the second sister you mentioned? Startled, Colin quickly sprints right to the edge of the deep pool. You and I both love moments like this. A hand shoots from the water, violently yanking him in, while I just cross my arms, enjoying a perfect VIP seat for the show. Colin's loud screams quickly attract a crowd. Once he finally climbs ashore, he looks at me with a totally betrayed expression. Brother, why would you do this to me? I told you I would never fight you for anything. His words instantly pin all the blame on me. Wendy Lawson quickly shields Colin, fiercely glaring at me. Arthur, you just got back and already beat Colin up, making his face swell for days. Now pushing him into the water? Will you only be satisfied when he is gone? Natalie Preston also steps right in front of Colin, and at me with pure disgust. How can the Sterling family have such a venomous son? The Preston family will never let me marry you. The only person I will marry is Colin. Colin lowers his head, weakly tugging at Wendy's sleeve. Wendy, Natalie, please do not say any more. Let us just go. I really hate being here. Wendy shrieks loudly. Leave? Why should we go? Colin, you might endure this, but I absolutely will not. Arthur, I demand you apologize to Colin immediately. I chuckle softly. Excuse me, but who exactly are you people? Colin whispers gently. Brother, Wendy is the daughter of the Lawson family. Natalie is the daughter of the Prestons. I simply nod. Wendy Lawson, are you absolutely certain I pushed him right into the water? Did you see it with your own eyes? Wendy frowns. You literally hit Colin before. If it wasn't you, who else? I stare at Colin. Are you claiming I pushed you into the water? Colin's voice chokes with completely fake sobs. No, Arthur didn't push me at all. Wendy, let's just go. I hate it here. Wendy's voice pitches even higher. Arthur, you still dare threaten Colin? And this is where we flip the script. Stepping into the crowd, I shout, Hey, Mr. in black swim trunks, where are you going? Everyone simultaneously turns around to look. A man wearing black swim trunks and goggles is desperately trying to sneak away. Stick with me here. Seeing the guy bolt, Arthur rips off his shoe and launches it with absolute, terrifying precision. Bam! A direct hit to the calf sends him crashing down hard. Buddy, this is the Sterling family's completely private estate. Security cameras are watching every single inch. Zero blind spots here. You dragging Colin underwater is totally recorded in Ultra HD. Colin completely froze up. The exact second he hit the water, he knew his sisters planned this entire pathetic trap. Arthur just smiled down mockingly. Did your boss claim the cameras were totally fake? That they would delete the footage so you would never get caught? The freezing guy stayed completely quiet. While the massive crowd watched in total shock, Arthur firmly planted his foot on his back. He let out a terrifying scream that could easily wake the entire neighborhood. Totally unfazed, Arthur kept pressing his foot down, applying just enough pressure to make him rethink every life choice. He groaned in total defeat, not moving a single muscle. Wendy gulped hard, staring at Arthur in absolute horror. Not just Wendy either. Natalie and the other guests stared like he was a total monster. Arthur simply looked down at the guy, his face completely empty of any emotion. Buddy, if you do not speak up, you might end up completely paralyzed. A total vegetable. Okay, fine, I will talk. The terrified guy finally gasped out. Arthur calmly lifted his foot. Much better. Right at that exact moment, Grandpa and the rest arrived. His mother, Laura, spotted Colin and immediately rushed right over. Colin, what happened? Colin just shook his head. Mom, Arthur didn't do it. I fell in myself. Laura pointed at him, completely furious. Arthur, beating Colin up yesterday wasn't enough for you? Now you shove him into the water? Do you really need to destroy him completely to be satisfied? Richard frowned hard at him too. The Sterling family strictly forbids hurting your own siblings. Do you have zero respect for me as your father? Grandpa firmly crossed his arms, stepping forward to yell at Richard. The facts aren't clear yet, but you twist everything, blaming Arthur for the push. Where is the actual proof? Colin is in this messy state. Still defending Arthur? You saw him hit Colin with your own eyes the other day. Arthur simply smirked back. Watch what happens here. Since you insist I pushed him, and not be falsely accused, right? With that, Arthur roughly shoved Laura aside. He grabbed Colin by the hair, dragging him straight to the pool edge. Let me go. Mom, Dad, Natalie, please save me. With the face cold as ice, Arthur ruthlessly tossed him right into the water. Everyone stood completely dumbfounded. Laura lunged forward, raising her hand to fiercely slap him. But Arthur caught her arm in a solid iron grip. Want to swim too? She shrieked. You dare? I am your mother. Arthur laughed. I weigh 130 pounds, and it is all pure spite. Just try me. With that, Arthur grabbed Laura by the hair and fiercely tossed her right into the pool too. Colin had just surfaced, and before he could even open his eyes, Laura crashed onto him, dunking him again. Grandpa narrowed his eyes at him, his voice totally deep. Arthur, I believe you didn't push him the first time. Was Colin framing you? Arthur raised an eyebrow and pointed at the guy groaning on the wet floor. He was hired to hide in the water. He was supposed to pull me in to completely embarrass me at this family banquet. I noticed him early and deliberately let him mistake Colin for me. The entire crowd drew a collective, sharp breath. Suddenly, a loud voice chimed in. If this guy pulled Colin underwater, why didn't Colin explain that earlier? Arthur glanced over at Dylan and Quincy. You saw that too, right? He didn't expect Dylan to speak up. Dylan winked. I don't just suspect Colin intentionally stayed quiet. I suspect he knows exactly who hired this thug. Colin, who had just scrambled back onto the wet pool deck, hurriedly shook his head. No, I don't know anything. Dylan scoffed at him. You say you don't know, but once ashore, why not clear things up? I was here the whole time. You were the one clinging to Arthur, completely, relentlessly. If you don't believe me, check the cameras. See if you were dragged here, or if you came over completely on your own. Luckily, young Master Sterling is smart, totally dodged your pathetic trap, and even managed an epic counterplay. Arthur smiled faintly, lightly kicking the guy on the floor. Buddy, speak up. Who hired you? Do not even worry about any retaliation. I will guarantee your family's safety. Unable to endure the intense pain, the guy knelt and cried out the truth. 2 days ago, a woman found me. She paid me 100,000 yen for a job. Arthur casually pulled out his phone. Do you remember exactly what she looked like? Yes. Arthur showed him a photo. Is this her? Yes. That is her. It is exactly her. He nodded frantically. Why do this? She said a total country bumpkin from some orphanage does not deserve to be her real brother. She said only Colin deserves it. Grandpa's lips trembled. He sighed, looking at the silent guests. The Sterling family has been poor hosts today. Please, I ask that none of this spreads outside. Nobody dared to offend the powerful Sterling family. The shocked guests gradually took their leave. So what do you and I make of this? Once everyone left, Grandpa crossed his arms, glaring at Riley. Where are Vanessa and Nora? Grandpa, I don't know. Then call them. Tell everyone to head to the ancestral home right now. I have something to say. Stick with me here. Inside the massive Grand View ancestral hall, Grandpa sat completely rigid on the sofa. Charles and Richard stood right beside him. The younger kids held their breath. Vanessa and Nora knelt right before Grandpa, who just glared at them with pure ice. Speak. Whose idea was this? Vanessa nervously stammered. It was mine. Grandpa just closed his eyes. Fine. When the Sterling family descendants make a huge mistake, they face punishment. Right then, the butler walked down from the 3rd floor, holding a thin cane. Grandpa glared straight at Richard. Richard, you're their father. When daughters act out, the father must discipline them. 10 strikes each, not a single one less. Suddenly, Colin dropped right to his knees in front of me, crying his eyes out. Brother, I am so sorry. 2nd and 4th sister targeted you because of me. It is completely my fault. I will take their punishment. I just chuckled coldly. Why are you begging me? Go beg Grandpa instead. He is the one punishing them, not me. Colin cried out, "Brother, it is my fault. Please spare them." Nora finally snapped back to reality. Colin, stop begging him. One person acts. One person takes the blame. I called that thug. I can handle 10 lashes. Vanessa gritted her teeth and looked right up. Grandpa, Nora, and I planned everything. Just give us the 10 lashes. Colin turned and knelt before Grandpa, looking resolute. Grandpa, they only targeted him for my sake. If you must hit someone, hit me. Laura knelt right beside Colin. Dad, they are good children. If they messed up, it is because I didn't teach them well. Let me take 40 lashes in their place. Watching the 4 of them kneeling on the floor, I suddenly felt absolutely annoyed. Watch closely now. I stood up, cold aura flashing in my eyes. But before I could even speak, Grandpa beat me to it. I am old. I can no longer manage my own descendants. All of you, go home. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., come back here. We are dividing the family assets. Grandpa looked straight at Vanessa and Nora. You two belong to the Sterling family line, so you absolutely must face your punishment. As for Colin, he lacks the Sterling lineage. I have zero right to discipline him. Richard, take your wife and adopted son and leave tomorrow. Those two do not need to return. Richard rushed to say, Dad, Colin is one thing, but Laura is part of the Sterling family. Dividing the assets is a huge event. Why can't we attend? Grandpa's eyes just showed absolute, pure disgust. No reason. Richard, are you going to carry out the punishment or not? When you are finished, leave. Richard gritted his teeth, grabbed the cane, and lashed it right across Vanessa's back. She cried out in pure pain. I just narrowed my eyes, stepped right forward, and snatched that cane from Richard's hand. I brought it down hard on Vanessa's back. She let out a miserable shriek, almost collapsing forward. Richard furiously yelled, Arthur, what are you doing? I just raised an eyebrow. Just helping you lessen your burden. If you lacked the strength, you should have said so earlier. I can hit them for you. I know what you are thinking. Right in front of him, I actually struck her again. Laura shielded Vanessa, screaming, I knew you were vicious. When I gave birth to you, should have completely abandoned you. I couldn't care less about Laura shielding her. I swung the cane again. She screamed in agony. I just laughed coldly, kicking Richard away when he tried to rush me. I took my time. 8th strike, 9th, 10th. I tossed the cane right at Richard's feet. Got your strength back yet? Or is there another one you need me to substitute for? Richard tightly clutched his stomach, took a deep breath, and picked up the cane. No need. Let me. He delivered 10 brutal lashes to Nora's back without holding back. When he was finally done, he glared at me, then looked right at Grandpa. Dad, the punishment is done. Can we leave now? Grandpa waved his hand dismissively. I watched their retreating backs, speaking very nonchalantly. If they can't even handle this much, we have plenty of time to play in the future. I bent down, hugging the 2 wolf pups, and smiled right at Grandpa. Grandpa, I won the bet. From now on, do not interfere in the business between me and Richard's family. Grandpa sighed heavily, looking at the 2 little wolf pups in my arms. Thinking about my magic, he suddenly realized something. Eldest Uncle Charles spoke up. You guys go ahead. I want to speak with Dad privately. Grandpa replied. Tiffany, stay. I have something to tell you too. Grandpa looked seriously at Charles. Charles, Tiffany, come with me to the study. Inside the 3rd floor study, Grandpa didn't even beat around the bush. Charles, you want to ask why I spoil Arthur so much, right? Charles nodded. Arthur's behavior is indeed a bit out of line, Grandpa stated plainly. But you saw the 2 beasts in Arthur's arms. They are the offspring of demon wolves. Arthur is not an ordinary person like you think. Do you finally understand why I indulge him now? Charles was shocked. Dad, really? Grandpa nodded. I saw lightning shoot from his fingertips with my own eyes. Tiffany was absolutely stunned. Grandpa, Dad, what demon wolves? What lightning? I do not understand anything. That is where we leave it. Grandpa looked serious. Tiffany, you are the Sterling heir. There are things you need to know sooner or later. Stick with me. You are about to see the National Special Bureau. They recruit from elite cultivation families everywhere. They master magic and mystic arts, specializing in cracking the wildest cases normal cops cannot solve. Tiffany stood completely stunned. Grandpa, is all of this actually real? Of course, it is. Why else would I let Arthur do whatever he wants? With just one single finger, he could completely erase the entire Sterling family from existence. Charles thought hard. Dad, if he possesses such insane magic, why stay with the Sterlings? Grandpa sighed. Arthur grew up out there. Who knows his struggles? His dark energy is overwhelmingly heavy. He finally returned to his real parents, but they actually favor the adopted son, treating Arthur like a total enemy. Anyone else would snap. Tiffany suddenly realized. Wait, is my brother planning to torture second uncle's family? Grandpa nodded, then shook his head. If he merely tortures them, that is fine. I worry he might unleash true destruction. Tiffany, I'm warning you now. Keep a close eye on him forever. Plus, we need to track down Colin's real parents fast and send that kid packing immediately. Grandpa frowned. As for Arthur knowing cultivation, magic, just the two of you knowing is enough. Do not leak this secret to anyone else. The next morning, I opened my eyes, staring at a dozen spirit stones that had crumbled into useless ash. My heart hurt. Even after guiding Kai into my body, my physical form was basically just an average person. I could only cast some minor spells, and I still needed basic food and sleep. Only foundation tier makes me a true cultivator. Watch closely now. Drama is exploding over at the villa. Richard sighed heavily. Dad is so biased. He refuses to listen. Colin gripped his sleeves, eyes burning with pure resentment. He needed to act fast. Meanwhile, the totally fake Taoist priest Richard hired finally arrived. Master Vu looked 40, wearing traditional Taoist robes, trying super hard to look like a profound master of the mystic arts. Richard spoke fast. Master Vu, he is over at Grand View Manor. I will take you there right now. Back at the ancestral home, I finished breakfast to grab a delivery. City spiritual energy was incredibly thin and polluted. Cultivating here was useless. I gave up, went back, and started drawing magical talismans. I perfectly drew 2 Thunderfire talismans. Just as I started the third one, a sudden knock hit my door. The butler spoke respectfully. Eldest master. The second master and Colin just brought a Taoist priest. They claim some evil spirit possessed you. The old master wants you to come downstairs immediately. I laughed coldly, grabbing my fresh Thunderfire talismans. Following the butler downstairs, Richard immediately pointed at me. Master Vu, that is him. Master Vu frowned, eyes turning gravely serious. Mr. Sterling, your guess was correct. Your son is possessed by an evil entity. He pulled talismans from his bag, throwing them at me. Holding a bell, he formed hand seals, chanting absolute nonsense. Master Vu solemnly walked around me like performing a divine dance. You seen this too, right? I just watched him like a complete idiot. Grabbing a talisman stuck to my shirt, I sneered. Possessed by what, exactly? Does an evil spirit deserve my time? Grandpa, previously totally silent, finally spoke up. Call the police. This guy is impersonating a Taoist, trespassing, and throwing insults. Master Vu pointed angrily. You wicked demon. How dare you spout nonsense? I am a certified Taoist from the capital. I laughed out loud, tossing his talisman away. You call me a demon, so why do your talismans have zero effect on me? Master Vu totally froze, coughing nervously at Richard. Mr. Sterling stood too far away and misjudged. Your son is not possessed. Complete misunderstanding. Richard's face turned super dark. Master, just seconds ago, you swore he was completely possessed. Now he is not? Are you scamming me? Master Vu frowned defensively. Mr. Sterling, watch your words very carefully. I misjudged. I apologize. I will return your 30 million. Flicking his sleeves, the guy desperately tried to leave. I narrowed my eyes. Uncle Lucas, he is running away. What are you waiting for? Catch him. Lucas, enjoying the show, pointed at himself. Me? Who else? Hurry up before he escapes. Lucas twitched. Standing up, he used his long legs to sprint after him, grabbing Master Vu right by the collar. You have serious nerve, Master. Scamming the Sterling house. Get ready to sew uniforms in a prison cell. Things going south. Master Vu checked his pocket, but suddenly, he felt a terrifyingly oppressive, heavy aura. He turned in pure horror, seeing my faint smile. What evil spirit? You and I both know this fraud picked the wrong house. Stick with me. He realizes he crossed a true immortal master. He begs for mercy, swearing to stop scamming. He begs for freedom, offering to surrender. Lucas just blinks in pure confusion. Master, what are you saying? What immortal master? This makes zero sense. Uncle, call the police. He just said he wants to surrender. Master Vu nods frantically, crying hysterically. Yes. Yes. I am not a real Taoist. I only learned some cheap parlor tricks just so I could survive. I will absolutely turn myself in. Lucas simply stares at me in absolute shock. What is actually happening? Why is this fake priest absolutely terrified of Arthur? And what is this whole immortal master thing? The police quickly drag Master Vu away. Richard glares at me furiously. Do you want the entire city mocking the proud Sterling family? Grandpa looks at his son with the completely dark expression. He desperately wants to slap him. Is your brain entirely filled with garbage? Colin keeps his head totally down, trying to completely hide his presence. He never expected his father to actually hire a fake priest. Richard rubs his hands awkwardly. Dad, this is completely my fault. I did not verify the Taoist properly. Grandpa does not care at all. He looks coldly at a shrinking Colin. Was this your stupid idea, or his? Colin jumps, pure panic flashing in his eyes. Grandpa, I meant nothing by it. Grandpa instantly barks back. Shut up, I asked him. Colin's eyes instantly turn red. Even though Grandpa was never close to him, he had never yelled at him like this before. Now that Arthur is back, absolutely everything has changed. Will there actually come a day when his entire family is stolen away by Arthur? No, a fierce glint flashes in Colin's eyes. I absolutely will not let that happen. Richard hesitates slightly. Pay attention here. Colin suggested this test first. And honestly, checking Arthur's old orphanage records was a smart move. His personality back then was completely different from now. How could I not be suspicious? Grandpa sighs heavily. The exact doubts Richard and Colin had, Grandpa had thought of too. He guesses I must have found some legendary fortune or a master that completely changed my personality. But he cannot reveal the absolute truth about cultivation families and immortal masters to Richard yet. Richard, do you think you are the only smart one here? This ends completely. Richard presses his lips tightly together and reluctantly nods. Right at that exact moment, Colin steps forward, grabbing my hand. Brother, I misunderstood you. I just wanted to know your interests to treat you better. So, I went to the orphanage to ask the director about you. Please do not blame Dad. It is entirely my fault. The exact moment Colin touches me, a dark look flashes in my eyes. I am about to strike him, but suddenly my body feels wrong. The spiritual energy in my dantian is slowly dissipating. My pupils instantly contract. The energy is fading slowly, but I can feel it perfectly. I snap my head to stare at Colin. He is looking at me with huge, innocent puppy eyes. I raise one eyebrow, using my free hand to slap him incredibly hard across the face. Colin cries out in pain, drops my hand, and crashes straight to the floor. He stands up, eyes completely red. Brother, if hitting me makes you feel better, go ahead. I do not speak a single word. I step forward, aggressively grabbing his arm. Colin trembles, terrified. I am going to break it, but I simply hold onto it, doing absolutely nothing. My eyes flicker. I hold out my other hand to him. You touched me voluntarily just one time. Colin is totally stunned, not understanding what kind of insane episode I am having. Hurry up before I decide to slap your face again. Richard cannot take it. Arthur, do not go too far. This is not Colin's fault. I hired that priest. Take it out on me. Stop making things hard for Colin. I ignore him entirely, staring intensely at Colin. My gaze is as sharp as a literal knife, sending heavy chills down their spines. Colin bites his lip, tentatively, grabbing my hand. Suddenly, the exact moment he touches my hand, the spiritual energy inside my dantian begins to slowly dissipate all over again. What is happening? I know what you are thinking. I pull back with a chilling smile. I finally get it. This is getting incredibly interesting. I take a long, hard look at Colin, then turn and walk straight upstairs. Colin looks completely surprised. What is wrong with Arthur? What did he say? Richard lovingly touches Colin's swollen cheek. Colin, let us go. Dad will take you to the doctor. Colin snaps out of his daze, weakly shaking his head. Dad, I am fine. It was my fault for misunderstanding him. I completely deserved that slap. Richard shoots Grandpa an irritated look, says nothing more, and drags Colin right out of the ancestral home. Grandpa sits on the sofa the entire time, not moving a single inch. Lucas, sitting next to him, asks in pure confusion, Dad, why did that fake priest call Arthur immortal? Master? What is an immortal master? Grandpa shakes his head, far too tired to explain. I do not know. Lucas just asked casually, not expecting an answer, and rubs his chin, lost in thought. Back in my room, I rub my chin as well. That sensation just now was extremely bizarre. Who exactly is Colin? So what do we make of this? When he touches me, my energy drains completely, but when I touch him, absolutely nothing happens. Stick with me here, because things just got complicated. I had never heard of any cultivator pulling off this ability, let alone a normal guy like Colin. Looking at his stunned reaction, the guy probably had zero clue about it. I thought it over, jumped up, and paced straight to the window. Closing my eyes, I channeled pure spiritual energy. Opening them, that bright blue sky instantly morphed into an ugly, dull gray haze. I frowned hard. This was a super heavy demonic Kai aura. A massive, thick blanket of demonic Kai completely swallowed the entire Sterling ancestral home. The family's fortune and luck were quietly getting drained away. Suddenly, my eyes stung bad, so I quickly shut them. My spiritual power was still weak. I could only activate spirit eyes for 3 seconds daily. But honestly, those 3 seconds were plenty to see everything. The Sterling family, an absolute top-tier city powerhouse, was getting targeted for generations. The Sterlings were seriously prominent figures. My great-grandfather fought tough wars, and Grandpa hit the battlefield young, racking up some seriously huge merits for the country. For a noble family like this, unless they committed massive wrongs, they should really only grow richer and way more prosperous. But right now, their luck was being secretly siphoned off. Judging by this insanely thick demonic Kai, it had been happening for years. Watch this closely. The mastermind was ridiculously thorough, and Colin was definitely the key to this huge luck-stealing scheme. I smirked to myself, plotting for over a full decade to steal a major family's luck. This mastermind had a scary, calculating mind. No single person could pull this off alone. Plus, right now, I was basically a newbie. I definitely didn't want to clash with them just yet. Staying in this ancestral home, feeling the demonic Kai wrapping around the villa made me entirely uncomfortable. Gritting my teeth, I grabbed some spirit stones from my bag and rode the elevator downstairs. Arthur, where are you going? Lucas spotted me heading out and quickly jumped right up to follow. I stared out at the massive courtyard, shoved the spirit stone right into Lucas's hand, pointing at the center tree. Uncle, go bury the stone under that tree. Lucas stared down at it. What kind of strange rock is this? It feels completely cold. Why are we burying it? Stop talking and just go bury it right now. Despite feeling totally confused, Lucas braved the hot sun and buried the stone. I handed him another, pointing to a new spot. Go bury this one too. Lucas looked completely miserable, with dark lines on his face. I have to bury this too? I just blinked. The sun is super strong today. You really don't want me getting a tan, right? Grandpa would be furious. Lucas sighed in total defeat. Fine, little boss. But you better explain why we are burying these random rocks. I will tell you when you finish. Sweating heavily, poor Lucas buried all the spirit stones exactly following my directions. Exactly half an hour later, let that sink in for a second. The final stone clicked, and an invisible barrier wrapped the Sterling home. It was the Twin Elements Array, an ancient formation that perfectly purifies demonic Kai. However, it still could not stop the Sterling family's luck from constantly leaking out. Lucas wiped his sweat and randomly asked, "Why do I feel so amazingly refreshed all of a sudden, even standing right in the blazing sun?" I just smiled and looked right at Grandpa, who had literally appeared out of nowhere. Grandpa, you totally knew about this all along, right? Grandpa's face turned completely serious. You actually saw it? I just nodded. Yeah, I saw it. So, keeping all the descendants out of the ancestral home was purely because of this. Grandpa let out a heavy sigh, hiding absolutely nothing. My dad, your great-grandfather, once did a solid favor for an immortal master. About 20 years ago, that exact master warned me this home was tampered with. The Sterling family was being targeted. All our luck was slowly getting stolen. He claimed that once our luck runs completely dry, the Sterling family instantly falls. He also mentioned this mysterious mastermind was way stronger than him. He was totally outmatched. He only taught me one simple method. Keep the descendants away from the ancestral home and limit contact so they stay far less affected. That way, even if the Sterling family eventually collapses, it will not be a total tragedy. By the end of his sad story, Grandpa's back hunched even more, his face showing total defeat. I just smiled faintly. That method is genuinely clever. It kept the family totally safe for 20 years. But these descendants still carry true Sterling blood. The mastermind wants our luck. No matter how far away, everyone runs. Stealing their luck is really just a simple matter of time. Hearing that brutal truth, Grandpa froze entirely, turning pale. He paused, then desperately asked Arthur, "Do you have any way to solve this?" But honestly, the second he asked, he completely regretted it. That ancient, immortal master couldn't even fix it. How could someone as super young as me pull it off? Lucas stood there, completely bewildered. "What are you guys even talking about? What do you mean the family is targeted?" I just smiled calmly. "Uncle, didn't you literally just ask why I made you bury those glowing stones?" I was secretly setting up the legendary twin elements array. It purifies demonic Kai. Lucas was completely lost, but Grandpa's eyes lit up. "You and I are going to love this. Stick with me here." I shook my head helplessly. "This formation only cleanses the dark energy at our ancestral home. It won't stop our luck from vanishing." Lucas looked super anxious. "Dad, what exactly do you mean?" Grandpa sighed, explaining it simply. "This is exactly why I keep the younger generation away." Lucas stared, wide-eyed. "Then how come I can visit whenever I want? Am I adopted? Did Mom keep a secret from you?" Grandpa absolutely lost it. "Total nonsense. I know you're into guys. You're never tying the knot or having kids anyway. So why shouldn't you visit your old man?" Lucas coughed awkwardly, shooting me a glance. Seeing I wasn't judging him, but instead smiling with pure amusement, he actually looked a little totally flustered. I was laughing inside, but used spiritual energy to keep a straight face for my uncle. Lucas scratched his head. "Hey, we could always adopt. If an adopted kid joins our family and gets loved, won't they lose their luck too?" Grandpa nodded helplessly. I stared at Lucas, curious. "Uncle, top or bottom?" He blushed furiously. "You little punk. What kind of question is that?" I scanned him up and down. "Definitely a bottom." Lucas was 6'1", incredibly handsome, with those charming peach blossom eyes. A textbook playboy. My stare gave him total goosebumps. Trying to save his dignity, he sighed. "Arthur, stop staring. Give me a break." I just smiled. "Makes sense. You really are the bottom. I'm honestly so curious about who managed to capture your heart." Grandpa completely missed the modern internet slang. "Lucas, keep this secret. Don't let your older brother and sister find out." Lucas nodded. "I get it, but are we really letting them scheme against our family without fighting back at all?" Grandpa sighed heavily. "The Sterling family can't beat those guys. If they want our good fortune, they can take it. Keeping everyone safe is what matters." Lucas was stunned, but agreed. "True enough. While we're standing, there is hope. Now pay attention here." I smiled faintly. "Actually, there is a way." Both their eyes instantly snapped right toward me. Grandpa practically jumped with excitement. "Arthur, you actually have a plan?" Lucas looked absolutely thrilled. "Arthur, if you save the Sterling family, I'm your loyal servant forever. Say the word, and I'll be there." His intense stare gave me goosebumps. "Actually, the answer is colon." Grandpa frowned. "Wait, colon is a problem." My eyes flashed. This morning, when he touched me first, the spiritual energy inside my core completely vanished. But when I grabbed him, my energy stayed perfectly fine. That's the real issue. Grandpa instantly understood the twist. "Don't worry, I already sent guys to track down his real parents. Once we find them, he's getting kicked out." I chuckled out loud. "Grandpa, simply kicking him out isn't going to fix this mess." Lucas's expression darkened as he made a swift hand gesture. "You mean, we remove him entirely?" I stared in sheer disbelief. "Uncle, yesterday you said getting rid of someone is illegal." Lucas blushed. "Then what's your plan?" I checked the array. "This array purifies the dark energy. Give it about 10 days, and the negative aura will be completely wiped clean. While it won't stop the luck drain, it will slow it way down." Lucas narrowed his eyes, a fierce glare flashing. "With more time, what if we trick Colin into flying abroad and deal with him over there?" I just smiled. "You see the problem, right? Think about it. If Colin vanishes, the mastermind will know we are onto them. If they really want our luck, they might try something extreme. If that happens, we might lose absolutely everything we have." Grandpa agreed. "Arthur is right. Colin stays safe for now." Lucas frowned. "Well, that won't work. What other choice do we have? Knowing someone is targeting our family while we sit around feeling completely helpless. It feels awful." I smiled casually. "We can't take him down, but he might just ruin himself on his own." Grandpa's eyes lit up with hope. Suddenly, he dropped to his knees before me. "Arthur, if you save us, the Sterling family will use absolutely all of its power to get you." Whatever you want. Raising an eyebrow, I quickly used spiritual energy to lift Grandpa up before his knees even hit the floor. Grandpa, bowing to me brings bad karma. I am your grandson. Of course, I won't stand by and watch our family fall. Grandpa looked super moved. Arthur, on behalf of the whole family, thank you. I smiled, waving it off casually. No formalities needed. It's my duty. At 1 p.m., the family lawyers arrived with huge stacks of documents, excluding Laura and Colin. Everyone gathered at the ancestral home. Even Vanessa and Nora showed up, despite getting harshly punished yesterday. 80% of the Sterling Group shares were under Grandpa's name. Tiffany, the heir, received 60%. Charles just attended for formality. We'll pause here, but trust me, you'll want to see what happens next. Stick with me here. Richard gets 5%. Lucas gets 5%. The 6 third-generation siblings each receive 1. I grabbed 4% of the shares, just barely under Richard and Lucas. Plus, there were massive global real estate properties handed out to everyone. Hearing this insane asset division, Richard immediately spoke up. Lucas and I get 5%. And Arthur gets 4%. Grandpa shot him a cold glare. My money. I will give it to whoever I want. Got a problem with that? Richard completely choked on his words, furiously snapping his mouth shut. The Sterling Group was a total titan. Just a 1% dividend meant an 8-figure monthly payout. He dared not argue with Dad. Besides Richard being totally annoyed, everyone else was thrilled. Obviously, nobody cared about his little complaints. Following the big payout, Tiffany hit the study to talk with Grandpa. Meanwhile, Riley spotted me playing with 2 tiny wolf pups outside. She hesitated for a second, then slowly walked over. Brother, are those actually dogs? Can I pet them? I was totally annoyed by these fluffballs. I shoved them straight into her arms. Not dogs. They are wolves. Riley jumped, but held them gently. They do not look like wolves. They are young, but yes, they are. If you are not scared, go ahead and play. They absolutely will not bite. Do not worry about it. Riley blinked, nodded, and thought for a second. She pulled out her phone. Brother, let us add each other. She said, Dad mentioned Grandpa is moving you over to Southgate High. Classes start soon. I am an 11th grader. Who really knows? We might end up in the same class. I did not decline, quickly scanning her QR code. Suddenly, another phone got shoved towards me. Nora smiled so brightly, shaking her phone. Brother, I am 4th sister. Add me. If you ever need anything later, just hit me up. Adding 1 or 2 people changed nothing. I added both girls, then headed right back upstairs. With absolutely nothing else to do, resumed my cultivation. You guys catch that? Transmigrating into this novel as a level 1 Chi condensation. Newbie left me, completely paranoid. Meanwhile, back at the Sterling Villa, Laura leaped from the sofa in pure shock. What? That ungrateful brat Arthur got 4% of the shares? Why him? Richard sighed helplessly, just shaking his head. How would I know? Dad is completely showing total bias toward him. He ignores every single word I say. Colin gripped his sleeve super tightly, his eyes burning with pure resentment. 17 whole years in the Sterling family, and he got absolutely nothing. Grandpa clearly never viewed him as a real Sterling family member. How is this fair? Even raising a simple pet dog for 17 years would build some emotional attachment, right? How would his classmates react when school started? He called him Grandpa for 17 long years, yet the old man was acting so incredibly ruthless. Now watch closely. A dark fire sparked in Colin's eyes. Since you treat me terribly, expect no mercy. Mom, Dad, Colin whispered about next month. 2nd sister is entering a big reality TV show. The rules demand she brings along a family member or a friend. She originally wanted to take me, but since Arthur is the biological son and the entire internet knows, maybe Arthur should go film that show with her instead. Laura sighed softly, gently patting Colin's head. Colin, you're the boy I raised for 17 years. No matter what random outsiders say, you are forever my beloved son. It is just television. Do not worry. Colin, acting super touched, hugged Laura, but hidden totally from her view. A truly chilling glint flashed in his eyes. Mom, I know you love me the absolute most, he whispered. But right now my older brother hates me. Thanks to me, he has huge misunderstandings with 2nd and 4th sisters. After all, they are his biological family. If 2nd and 4th sisters step up to make peace, he will definitely forgive them all. Laura frowned. Colin, are you suggesting Vanessa should actively make peace with Arthur? Taking him on the reality show to build up their new sibling bond? Colin just nodded. Yes, exactly. After all, he is your biological son. You are still his legal guardians. By blood, he is deeply connected to you. Richard and Laura exchanged a quick glance. A sneaky glint of pure greed flashed. That is right. Arthur is still technically a minor. They are his real parents. Everything he owns naturally falls under their control, including those valuable corporate shares. Richard waved his hand dismissively. Colin is right. Blood is thicker than water. We are family. Fighting just makes outsiders laugh at us. Laura, go upstairs and talk things out with Vanessa. Tell her to step up, make peace with Arthur, and take him on that show. Laura frowned hard. You know how Vanessa's temper gets. She got heavily punished with the cane yesterday because of him. She definitely hates him completely. How could she ever willingly make peace? Colin's eyes suddenly sparkled. Mom, let me go persuade second sister myself. Laura thought for a second and nodded. All right, go talk to her properly, then. Colin smiled obediently and nodded. Do not worry, we see through this, right? Colin's obedience completely satisfied Laura, while Arthur simply gave her headaches. Let's dive into this wild family drama. She didn't love the biological son she never raised, but with company shares on the line, she had to fake it for now. Soon after, Colin strolled downstairs grinning. Mom, Dad, my second sister agreed to the plan, but she insists on bringing me onto the TV show too. Richard frowned deeply. Colin, you know Arthur is totally unpredictable. If you both join the cast, will he even agree? Colin just shook his head. I told my sister the exact same thing, but she promised she would figure out a way to force his hand. Vanessa was unbelievably stubborn and extremely proud. Getting knocked out cold by Arthur in just 2 hits yesterday was insane. It was already a pure miracle. She agreed to play nice and invite him. They honestly couldn't ask for more. Richard nodded. Fine. If Arthur actually says yes, let him have his way. Do not poke the bear, or those shares are totally gone. Colin's eyes sparkled as he whispered back. I know, Dad. The reality show Vanessa signed up for was called Wilderness Camping. It was a live national survival broadcast. Literally the very first of its kind here. 4 major celebrities were joining. Everyone could bring along 1 friend or relative, making 8 total. Colin had done his homework. This project was a goldmine. It took place near the coastal city of Shuni, like deep inside a thick mountain forest. The camping rules were brutal. Players had to survive for 7 straight days out there with their partners. Finishing tough challenges was the only way to get food. Colin's eyes turned icy. Arthur, just you wait. I'm going to completely humiliate you on national TV. Watch closely now. I was sitting cross-legged, surrounded by glowing spirit stones. Pure energy flowed right into my core. 4 hours later, my stomach let out a huge growl. I finally snapped my eyes open. The spirit stones were just gray ash now. I winced, feeling totally robbed. Burning through expensive spirit stones to train like this was way too wasteful. I sighed heavily. I really need another method. Checking my phone, a new message popped up. I raised an eyebrow. It was a friend request from Vanessa. In the original story, she was the sister who absolutely adored Colin the most. In the crazy entertainment world, even with absolutely zero acting skills or talent, her gorgeous face brought in a massive fanbase. Plus, as the Sterling family's rich daughter, she never feared offending anyone, constantly saying whatever she pleased. She once completely blasted an online hater and went straight to the top trending list. Her online clout was absolutely insane. She could literally trend for doing nothing at all. Later on, Colin used her fame to skyrocket, becoming the youngest top actor with endless fans. So, naturally, I was super curious why Vanessa was suddenly reaching out to me. Her very first text was super direct. Brother, what happened the other day was totally my fault. So sorry. Please forgive me. Okay, reading that message, I just narrowed my eyes. Vanessa never played nice. You want my forgiveness? Send over $10 million first, then I will think about it. On the other side, Vanessa was lying in bed, back still hurting. She clenched her fists tightly. 10 million it is. Just wait until I totally ruin you. Send me your bank account details now. You feel that suspicion too, right? I was genuinely shocked she agreed. Total trap. But I sent the number anyway. Minutes later, $10 million hit my account. Then Vanessa finally revealed her real goal. Next month, I am doing a TV show where relatives can join. Let us go together. I want to formally announce to everyone that you are my real brother, the true Sterling family heir. I just chuckled. Ah, so that was her big master plan. But wait, did you not post online about bringing Colin? If I tag along, won't he be furious? He is your precious golden brother, after all. Vanessa saw my text and smirked to herself. Oh, he is totally jealous of Colin. Just as expected, a guy with zero worldly experience is super easy to play. So, do we have a deal? If yes, I will ensure the director lets both you and Colin participate together. It is not about favoring Colin, but I already promised my fans online that he was coming with me. The fans are incredibly hyped up. If I bring you and ditch him, both our fan bases will absolutely destroy you on the internet. I rolled my eyes, purely mocking her. Does she think I am stupid? 50 million, then I'll consider it. Vanessa got so angry she almost screamed out loud. Are you completely obsessed with cash? Doing this reality show pays an appearance fee. When the time comes, I will hand over my entire payout. Is that enough? I just smiled. And how much is that? Vanessa gritted her teeth hard. 50 million. I grinned widely. I am in. Then I hopped onto the dark web and opened a secure chat. Got a job. You interested? The hacker replied instantly. Yes, absolutely. What is the gig? Track Vanessa and Colin. Where they go, what they do, and whatever they buy. Send every detail straight to me. Name your price. The guy paused for a second. 50 million total. I agreed without missing a beat. No problem. It was not my money anyway, but you better not fail me. Meanwhile, Vanessa called up the head director to negotiate. Adding an extra person was supposed to be completely impossible, since the cast was already totally locked in. But the Sterling Group just posted a massive statement online about the true heir being switched at birth. Trust me, you'll want to see this fallout. Stick with me. We all know this classic trope is absolute fire, but happening in real life? The internet exploded, and thousands of fans completely flooded the comment sections. This drama was already trending everywhere. Putting both young masters on the exact same show would create a truly massive media storm. The main director barely even hesitated before happily agreeing to add one more person, making 9 total. Naturally, the news leaked out fast. Fans completely lost their minds. Wait, am I hallucinating? Both young masters on one show? Wow, the production team is playing a huge game. This is the ultimate battlefield. An absolute war zone. I cannot wait for this. This wild news instantly hit #1, dragging the show's massive popularity higher. Tiffany saw the trend and frantically texted, "Kid, are you really doing this?" Seeing the trending list, I just replied, "Why can't I go?" She frowned hard. "Are you doing this for fun?" Tiffany furiously rubbed her forehead. A magical, immortal cultivator joining a silly reality show. Joining a reality show, and even agreeing to film alongside Colin? Why film with an enemy? You and I both know this feels like a really bad setup. Heading downstairs, I immediately caught a few very curious stares. Sweating heavily, Riley brought the pups over. "Brother, I saw the news. Are you going?" I casually shrugged. "Why can't I go?" Riley looked super confused. "Don't you despise Colin? Why film with him?" I simply raised an eyebrow and smiled. I don't hate him, and I definitely don't refuse cash. Vanessa paid me 60 million. Riley was utterly speechless. "Are you broke?" I just shook my head. "Not at all, but who refuses cash?" Riley tried to speak, but Uncle Lucas quickly covered her mouth. "Enough talking. If Arthur wants to join, let him participate. Stop asking so many questions. My nephew definitely has plans for Colin." Riley just blinked, staying quiet, and left. Left completely alone in the living room, Lucas's eyes brightly lit up. He hurried to the table, sitting right opposite me. Leaning close, he whispered quietly, "Good nephew, are you really planning to crush Colin? The director has huge backing, and every single move will be recorded. Be careful." I checked my phone, replying casually, "Not a problem. We still have 9 days left." "Nephew, want me to take you out for fun?" I paused, my eyes shining. "Meeting your boyfriend? Oh, absolutely. This kind of real drama is exactly what you and I both love to see. I am super curious." Lucas's face instantly darkened with pure embarrassment. "I never said that." Still, he caved and quickly texted someone, "Dress nice, and come meet us at Lion Bar. My nephew really wants to meet you." The instant reply was just question marks. "Why me?" Losing his patience, Lucas typed, "Stop asking. Just look good, do not embarrass me." The guy clearly wasn't fully convinced. Lucas, I'm just your eye candy, right? Did I not teach you a proper lesson last time? You just wait. Lucas's ears burned bright red from guilt. He pocketed his phone, looking up to find me staring with intensely curious eyes. Lucas had a terrible feeling, but a promise is a promise. Let us go. Even powerful immortal masters need fresh air. Sitting in the back of the car, I stared out the window, completely bored. Suddenly, under the pale moonlight, I spotted a mysterious woman. Definitely a cultivator, and at least key condensation level 3. She reeked of dark aura. Someone was definitely eliminated. Sensing my gaze, she froze up. Her incredibly sharp eyes quickly swept across the busy street. But through the heavy traffic, she couldn't find me. Frowning, she vanished. I watched her deep in thought. The heavenly Tao remains fair. Cultivators hold insane power, but to keep peace, they are strictly forbidden from ever harming mortals. Break that rule, and your cultivation completely stops. No exceptions whatsoever. The single difference, one uses spiritual energy, while the other uses pure demonic force. That heavy, dark aura around her meant she had probably eliminated hundreds of targets. Of course, I could be entirely wrong. Maybe she hunted other cultivators, not regular mortals. Arriving at Lion Bar, I finally pushed that crazy thought far aside. I never meddle in random drama anyway. Inside the VIP booth, Lucas casually sat down beside another guy. He quickly introduced us. Good nephew, meet Mason. Then he turned around. Mason, meet my awesome nephew, Arthur. I stared wide-eyed. He was handsome, tall, and super strong. Trust me, you and I aren't ready for what's next. This guy radiated pure explosive power, the absolute definition of an alpha male. So, this was Uncle Lucas's type. You and I are thinking the same thing here. Just look at the insane size difference. Could Lucas even handle this guy? Under my totally shameless staring, Mason's eyelid actually twitched. Forcing a smile, he introduced himself. Just call me Uncle Mason. I simply smirked. Uncle Mason, how did you and Lucas even meet? How long have you guys been together? Does your family know? Do they support you too? Oh, yeah. Uncle Lucas said he really loves kids and wants to adopt. Are you guys planning to marry? Lucas nearly lost his mind, staring at me in pure shock. Mason was just totally stunned and confused. You want to adopt a kid? Lucas awkwardly coughed and looked away. No, he's just talking nonsense. I played completely innocent. Uncle Lucas, why say I'm talking nonsense? Grandpa literally heard you say it the other day too. Suddenly, Mason grabbed Lucas's hand, looking totally serious. Lucas, if you really love kids, let's go abroad, marry, and adopt. Lucas bit his lip, looking super conflicted. But your family? I have a younger brother. The family line will not end. They will agree eventually. Hearing that firm answer, Mason smiled brightly. Watch closely, because this caught everyone off guard. He just grabbed his face and kissed him. Even I was completely stunned, jaw on the floor. Lucas turned completely red. He angrily glared at Mason. My nephew is right here. Just behave yourself. I quickly covered my mouth, unable to stop giggling, eyes turning into little crescents. No, ignore me. Just pretend I am Heir. Please, continue. Lucas was easily embarrassed, but Mason clearly was not. He casually threw an arm around his shoulder and just laughed. Nephew, this entire bar belongs to my family. From now on, your drinks are totally free. Well, I will not hold back then. Thanks a lot, Uncle Mason. Mason suddenly pulled Lucas up. I have some important business with your uncle. Go play by yourself a while. Lucas immediately objected. Mason, my nephew is still young. What if he gets bullied alone here? Mason slowly nodded. Good point. He pulled out his phone. I will get the manager to keep him company. Feel better now? I leaned back lazily. Uncle, you two just go handle your business. Nobody in this entire bar can possibly hurt me. As an immortal master, how could normal people bully me? Lucas, half pushed and half pulled, just followed Mason. Were you not acting mad, saying you would not see me for a whole week? Mason softly whispered as they walked. Why use your nephew as a fake excuse? Did you miss me that much? Lucas quickly looked away, acting tough. Who missed you? Stop being so totally full of yourself. My nephew totally insisted on meeting you. What could I do? Mason just chuckled softly. Did not miss me? Hope you say that later. Okay, let us pause for a second. Mason led him to a top-floor private room. And yeah, we all know exactly what happens next. Feeling bored, I looked around and was about to leave when I saw a familiar girl approaching. Chloe, with her tall figure and long legs, sat right across from me. Her lips curled into a lazy smile. "Young Master Sterling, we meet again." I raised an eyebrow. "What do you want?" Chloe smirked. "I heard you are joining the wilderness camping show. What does my joining that show have to do with you?" Chloe smiled proudly. "Such a coincidence. A cousin of mine is on that show too. She invited me to go along, and since I was free, I gladly accepted." I just looked at her in pure surprise. Based on Tiffany's polite attitude the other day, her social status was definitely high. I never expected her to join such a boring show. Chloe casually leaned back, crossing her legs in a very relaxed posture. "Do not be so cold. After all, our grandfathers have been friends for years. Sitting here alone is just boring. Come hang out with me." She pointed at a booth where 3 girls were peeking out, looking super hopeful. When I glanced over, they quickly hid away. I just smirked. "We are not close." With that, I stood up to leave. Chloe totally did not expect me to just walk away, standing up to follow me. "We are not close right now, but we will be. Our families are friends, and we are literally on the same show. Soon. You should really look out for me. Plus, I heard your grandpa is transferring you to Southgate High. We will be schoolmates." But right then, I sensed something and snapped my head to stare into the distance. Chloe looked exactly where I was staring in surprise, but saw absolutely nothing except a dark corner. Totally confused, she asked Arthur, "What are you seeing?" I snapped right back to reality, giving her a quick glance. "I have business to do. Do not follow me." Before she could blink, I vanished completely. Chloe just stood there, totally stunned. How did he run so fast? Am I that unappealing? Hiding my aura completely, quietly tailed that woman from earlier. This was the exact same person I saw from the car. Using my spirit eyes, I saw she was at key condensation level 3, but reeked of demonic energy. She was dangerously close to becoming a full demonic cultivator. Normally, I would not meddle, but I just caught her stalking a young guy. An ordinary human, probably a minor. You and I know what that demonic key and foul scent mean. It is completely obvious. She is hunting mortals. Stick with me here. I hesitated briefly before checking it out. Little Lee was cheerfully carrying some snacks, texting his girlfriend, completely oblivious to the approaching threat. Click, click. The street lights suddenly all shattered. The whole area plunged into total darkness, illuminated solely by the faint glow of his phone screen. Absolutely startled, Little Lee dropped his snacks and activated his phone flashlight. Glancing around and seeing nobody, he breathed a huge sigh. What is this? A power outage? Do lights just randomly shut off like that? This path was his quickest route home. Though quiet, it usually had bright lights and cameras, keeping his fear away. But with every light shut down, he did not dare stay. Grabbing his food, he turned to bolt. Where are you running off to, little boy? Little Lee froze, staring in pure shock at the mysterious woman suddenly blocking his path. Who are you? Cameras are everywhere here. Try anything, and you are caught. The woman laughed cruelly, her eyes freezing cold. Cameras? Those little toys are totally useless against me. Little Lee swallowed hard, backing up, shaking nervously. He turned to sprint, desperately dialing the police, but she harshly twisted his wrist. His phone slammed into the ground, completely shattering into pieces. That faint glow vanished instantly. A hand clamped tightly over his mouth from behind. He struggled, trapped completely. Watch closely now. A dark voice whispered, "Do not worry, it will be quick. You will feel nothing." Little Lee filled with pure despair before blacking out. The woman released him, a twisted grin forming, and dragged his heavy body into the dark shadows. A mortal born during the rat hour. Truly incredibly rare, she muttered quietly, her eyes flashing with wicked intent. Even without cultivation, his spiritual energy remains pure, a perfect little vessel to consume. Right as she prepared to strike, a mocking laugh loudly echoed. No wonder your dark, demonic Kai feels so extremely heavy. Turns out you specialize in hunting down guys born during the rat hour. The woman instantly shifted to high alert. Who is hiding? Come out. Deactivating my invisibility talisman, confidently stepped forward. Seeing someone so incredibly young owing everything, she grew extremely cautious. I can pretend I never saw you. You better stop sticking your nose into my personal business. I just shrugged. I did not want to intervene either, but your foul stench is absolutely sickening. Plus, I just developed several brand new talismans, and I wanted you to help test them out. Victoria narrowed her eyes, her expression turning terrifyingly dark. Little brat, you clearly do not know your place. If you want to fall so badly, do not blame my absolute ruthlessness. You know too much. You must be some major family disciple out for basic training, carrying tons of valuable treasures. Huh? Pure, wicked greed suddenly flashed in her eyes. She violently lunged forward, hands forming sharp claws. I tossed a massive stack of heavenly thunder talismans directly at her face. Victoria quickly leaped back, dodging explosive blasts while glaring angrily. So, you are merely at Chi condensation level 1. How dare you try stopping me? Prepare for defeat. I confidently chuckled. Level 1 is entirely enough to blast you away. You are just a pathetic level 3 rookie yourself. I will drown you with talismans. My footwork was extremely light, fast, and ghost-like. Victoria failed to land one hit, forced into constantly dodging my relentless exploding talismans. She felt completely shocked. What wealthy family raised this crazy kid with endless talismans? Seeing his overwhelming confidence, he probably holds countless more. He is merely level 1. How can he activate so many talismans without completely draining his own spiritual energy? Realizing she faced a truly terrifying opponent, she desperately searched for a quick escape. You know what comes next, right? Hearing police sirens approach, I grabbed a fresh thunderclap talisman. This is a brand new prototype. Looks slightly ugly, but you get the very first taste. With a quick wrist flick, that golden thunderclap talisman rocketed right toward her. Victoria's pupils completely shrank, watching over a dozen heavenly thunder talismans and that massive thunderclap flying closer, especially while her own dantian was already half empty. She had zero room to escape. Boom! Victoria was violently blasted backwards, skidding over 10 meters, dark energy bursting from her. You, who exactly are you? I casually strolled over, grabbing another shiny thunderclap talisman, and lightly kicked her leg. I am your daddy. Then I casually slapped the talisman onto her chest. Victoria's eyes widened in absolute horror, instantly turning into a sad, smoking pile of total defeat. Thoroughly victorious with my talismans, I dusted off my hands, canceled the barrier, and smoothly walked away. I patiently waited until hearing the loud police sirens approach. Young Master Sterling, I finally found you. Chloe was happily squatting by a street corner. Seeing me approach, she smiled incredibly brightly and quickly ran over. I looked up at her, genuinely surprised. Why were you waiting out here? Chloe awkwardly cleared her throat, pretending to look very serious. It is late. You are walking completely alone. I feared you might face danger. After all, our grandfathers are actually very good friends. I really needed to protect you. I stopped walking and looked at her, the corner of my mouth curling into a playful smile. Do you like me? We all saw this coming. Chloe froze, turning bright crimson everywhere. Why are you so direct? I playfully raised an eyebrow. Let us dive right in. You really do like me? Chloe nervously grabbed her shirt hem. Always proud since childhood, she never had her feelings exposed this bluntly. For the first time, she felt completely, entirely embarrassed. I just chuckled. Too bad I do not like little girls. Chloe froze. She could handle a simple rejection from him. After all, they barely knew each other, but calling her a little girl? She frowned, trying to process his bold statement. Wait, that makes no sense. I am older than you. How am I a little girl? I laughed internally. If I revealed my centuries of life, you would call me crazy. Anyway, I am not interested. Do not follow me at all. Chloe did not hesitate. If you are not interested, fine. Can we at least connect online? We can still be normal friends, right? Before I could say no, she kept going. Our grandfathers are best buddies. So just let me try to win your heart. I answered simply. No. Chloe immediately ran after me. Why not? I stopped and looked right at her. Fair skin, stunning features, totally gorgeous. Pausing for a second, I spoke. I never, ever date girls prettier than me, so you have zero chance. Chloe totally froze. Was that a sweet compliment or a massive insult? She never hated her own gorgeous looks as much as she did right now. Should she actually go draw a massive, ugly mole on her face? While she seriously debated this wild idea, my phone rang. Yes, I contacted the police. I'm waiting across from the Lion Bar. A patrol car arrived quickly. A rookie officer hopped out. Did you report the incident? Please follow us to the station to give a statement. I nodded and got ready to leave. Chloe snapped back and blocked my path. Wait, I am coming with him. The young officer frowned, glancing between us. Are you two dating? Get in together then. I lost patience and pushed her away. What girlfriend? Officer, I do not know this girl. You and I know exactly what he thought. Just a cute couple fighting. They were both super young and incredibly, exceptionally good looking together. Standing side by side, they looked amazing. All right, both of you, hop in. So, we both ended up in the back seat. It was Chloe's very first ride. She looked everywhere, bouncing around and fidgeting non-stop. With a total deadpan face, I messaged Tiffany to grab me from the station later. I lightly tapped the back of Chloe's head. Sit still. People will think you are completely hyperactive. Chloe rubbed her head, blinked twice, and sat up straight. After giving our statements and leaving, a tall guy blocked Chloe's path. Chloe, why are you here? Chloe looked up, narrowing her sharp eyes. Vance, why are you here? Vance stayed quiet, just smiling. Fighting again? Chloe rolled her eyes hard. I accompanied a friend for a statement. Seeing me exit, she quickly rushed right over to me. Are you finished? I nodded without caring. Done. Chloe beamed. Let us leave together. It is on the way. I frowned. No need. My big sister is picking me up. I'm not being shy. I will just catch a ride with your sister. It is convenient. My mouth twitched slightly. Suit yourself. I walked right past Vance and headed out. Vance raised one eyebrow, tapping Chloe's shoulder. Little girl, you actually like him? Chloe bit her lip, nodding honestly. Yes, I really do. Vance looked super amused. Did you not always claim that romance slows down your sword? You said you would rather stay single forever than date a guy? Why did you instantly fall for the first handsome dude you saw? I never expected the Chandler family's second daughter to be so shallow. Chloe frowned instantly, glaring at him with absolutely zero friendly vibes. Mind your own business. If you keep your mouth shut, nobody will complain. Vance checked his watch, decided to stop teasing his cousin, and strolled inside. After all, he had an official mission to finish here. Business comes first. Chloe scoffed, noticed me leaving, and sprinted to catch up. I kept walking calmly, running some intense calculations in my head. Now listen closely to this detail. Vance is a special bureau member at Chi Condensation Level 4. The capital's Chandler family was not just rich. They were deeply tied to the secret cultivation world. Did Chloe actually know about cultivators? By now, Chloe had reached me, matching my pace step for step. She tilted her head toward me, lost in her thoughts, her lips forming a sweet, girlish smile. Mr. Sterling, let us connect on WeChat. Even if we cannot date, we can still be good friends, right? I paused to think, finally nodded, and grabbed my phone. Chloe absolutely beamed with excitement. She quickly pulled hers out, loaded her QR code, and smiled brightly. Honestly, with her family's insane influence, finding my personal number would be as easy as breathing for her. But she respected my boundaries. I checked her profile name and froze. Born Violent. What an incredibly arrogant title. I simply saved her contact as Chloe. Meanwhile, she aggressively saved my number as literal love at first sight. So what do you and I take from this? She is getting suspicious. She pocketed her phone and whispered, Arthur, you actually saved someone tonight, right? Let's dive into this wild mystery. I stayed silent, but Chloe continued. That guy you saw? He's special bureau. They tackle impossible supernatural cases. I raised an eyebrow, totally confused. Special bureau? Never heard of it. Her gaze deepened. You might be clueless, but your grandpa absolutely knows. Vance is my cousin, and his bureau rank is seriously top tier. If he's investigating this mess, it's undeniably huge. Since you reported the whole thing, expect him to grill you for more answers. My face stayed completely blank. Apparently, I just tripped right into massive trouble. Chloe smiled gently, her eyes narrowing playfully. Relax, it's nothing serious. Just a standard chat. I stared at her, totally surprised. Why would I panic? I didn't harm anyone at all. What is there to fear? Chloe bit her lip, looking slightly flustered. Right, I definitely overshared. Right then, Tiffany pulled up. Seeing Chloe and me casually strolling out of the station, my eldest sister looked absolutely stunned. Arthur, why are you wandering around alone this late? And why are you two leaving the station together? I just gave her the quickest summary. I hit up the bar with Uncle Lucas. He had sudden business with Uncle Mason and bailed early. Leaving the bar, I spotted a super sketchy woman and called the cops. Watch closely here, things are getting messy. They needed my statement. Tiffany just rubbed her forehead, her voice staying surprisingly gentle. Uncle Lucas actually dragged you to a bar? Does Grandpa know about this? Probably not. Tiffany looks super awkward. So, you already know everything about Lucas and Mason? I just smiled brightly. I know, and I fully support love between anyone. My eyes curved into happy crescents. Big sis, please stop asking questions. Let's head home. I'm exhausted. Tiffany asked one final, burning question. Miss Chandler, why exactly are you exiting the station alongside my brother? Chloe smiled. We accidentally bumped into each other outside the bar. I was honestly worried about him walking home completely alone. After all, both of our grandfathers are good friends. A genuine glint of surprise flashed in Tiffany's eyes. Is that true, Miss Chandler? You're way too kind. Chloe laughed triumphantly. Tiffany stayed quiet, completely focused on driving. I smirked, suddenly feeling extremely mischievous. I quickly texted Chloe, why didn't you just tell my big sister the actual truth? Tell her you literally stalked me and demanded my number because you totally like me. Chloe checked the message, raised an eyebrow playfully, and met my teasing gaze with the bright, sunny smile. Her fingers danced rapidly across her screen. My phone vibrated loudly. I looked down. Let me officially pursue you. Really want to? Chloe's eyes practically sparkled. Want what? I smiled and typed back. Let me hold your pretty hand. Chloe's heart instantly skipped a beat. She noticed my intense gaze locked right onto her hand, completely fascinated. She understood immediately, blushing hard. This is so embarrassing. Your sister is right up front. I remained completely unfazed. If she sees us, whatever, she can't control me anyway. Chloe secretly checked on Tiffany, then quickly replied, fine, take it. We both felt that tension, right? She hid her phone, scooted much closer, and offered her hand. I rubbed my palms, super excited. It had been ages since I spotted such gorgeous hands. I honestly wanted to collect them and turn them into perfect artistic specimens. Sadly, Chloe's family background was way too complicated, so I couldn't cross that line. Chloe suddenly felt a creepy chill run down her spine, but seconds later, warm fingers grasped hers, caressing them incredibly gently. Chloe's breath hitched wildly, her entire body stiffening up. Thanks to her childhood trauma, whenever guys touched her, she felt repulsed and wanted to sprint 800 meters away instantly. She previously assumed she only liked girls, yet holding my hand right now, zero disgust whatsoever. Honestly, she just wanted to get much closer. Realizing her thoughts, Chloe's face flushed completely red. Gulping nervously, her slender fingers subconsciously curled inward. I literally had no clue what Chloe was imagining. Staring at this delicate hand, I only witnessed absolute artistic perfection. A truly prime masterpiece. Touching it gently, our obsession grew even stronger. Those nails were perfectly trimmed, fingers incredibly long and slender, bone structure utterly flawless, without one single blemish. I was completely mesmerized, so distracted that Tiffany totally caught me. Stopped at a red light, she checked the rearview mirror and spotted me aggressively stroking this girl's hand like an absolute weirdo. Her eyes went ridiculously wide. She couldn't stop herself from asking, Arthur, Miss Chandler, what exactly are you two doing? Hearing Tiffany's horrified tone, I instantly released her. Refusing to look up, Chloe mumbled, just playing with hands. Big sis, relax. Don't act surprised. Tiffany was utterly dumbfounded. This whole world has officially gone insane over hand-holding. What else are you planning to do? Tiffany fiercely glared at Chloe right through that mirror. Chloe quickly leaned back, dodging her intense stare, staring out the window. Terrified to look back, Tiffany opened her mouth, but completely failed to find any more words. She finally understood. Her little brother grew up roaming the streets, mastered bizarre magic, and possessed an incredibly rebellious soul. She truly had zero right to discipline him. Makes you wonder what happens next, right? The light turned green and she drove off, constantly checking the mirror. Stick with me here. She finally realized I was just admiring Chloe's gorgeous hands. With absolutely zero hidden motives, she breathed out, totally relieved. Turns out, Arthur just seriously loved perfect hands. Chloe quickly went from blushing super hard to understanding I was purely admiring her fingers. Without any weird thoughts, she finally relaxed completely. For the absolute first time, she actually thought having pretty hands could help her win a guy over. Heading home, she absolutely planned to research skincare routines and buy top-tier lotions. making sure those hands stayed completely soft and incredibly flawless forever. 20 minutes later, our ride rolled right into Grandview Manor. We happily dropped Chloe off at the Chandler estate. Chloe smiled brightly, waved at me from the car, and happily headed inside. I just stared dreamily at her beautiful waving hand. Just gorgeous, truly stunning, with perfectly elegant bone structure. Finding fingers this breathtakingly flawless was incredibly rare. Tiffany acted as my awesome personal driver, bringing me to the Sterling ancestral home, patiently waiting until I walked inside before zooming off. Safely inside my room, after washing up, I quickly redrew my magical talismans, pulling out some glowing spirit stones for training. Today proved this huge city was secretly hiding tons of powerful expert cultivators. If Victoria had already reached Chi condensation level 5, I honestly would have sprinted away immediately without even meddling. But strictly relying on glowing spirit stones for training wasn't a sustainable plan. I definitely couldn't return to that deep, dangerous forest either. After finishing the fun reality show, I planned to find another quiet mountain, bringing those 2 cute wolf pups along for training. The awesome storage bag from that mystic wolf held more than just stones. It actually contained super rare spiritual artifacts. Watch closely now. Those fierce wounds came from a cultivator, and I'm no fool. Returning to that specific mountain was completely off the table. The very next morning, right when my eyes popped open, random phone call arrived. Exactly like Chloe guessed, because I bravely reported the wild incident. The local police station requested me to visit them for just one more chat. Getting ready, I headed downstairs, playfully giving Grandpa a quick update about that mysterious special bureau. Grandpa frowned deeply. Do they know your real identity? I smiled, shaking my head. To them, I'm just an average, everyday teen. Grandpa nodded wisely. Have the driver take you there. 30 minutes later, my ride dropped me right at the bustling police station front doors. This time, alongside Vance, sat a mysterious master from the powerful Noman family. Word was, her rank in the secret bureau was incredibly elite. Inside a quiet room, Noman stared intently at files on her laptop screen. Arthur, the actual biological child of Richard and Laura, swapped at birth and raised in an orphanage. The very day you returned, you totally wrecked Colin, the fake Sterling heir, before your cool grandfather brought you straight into the grand ancestral home. Days ago, during the fancy Sterling family banquet, Vanessa and Nora tried embarrassing you, but you cleverly saw right through their trap and completely flipped the script on them. She glanced up sharply. Judging by this, young Master Sterling truly seems like someone who always strikes back over the absolute tiniest little issues. But we investigated your history, covering 17 whole years. Why does it seem like your awesome current personality is entirely different from the old you? I frowned, acting totally confused. I literally just did a heroic deed. Calling the cops. Why investigate my private life? Is that even allowed? Does every single good Samaritan dialing the police get thoroughly investigated down to their literal socks? Noman smirked coldly. The Special Bureau's tactics are absolutely, totally legal. You saw this coming, right? They completely believed Arthur was possessed. My face just instantly dropped. Secret Bureau? Body snatchers? Have you guys been reading way too many crazy fantasy novels? Vance closely watched my dramatic expression, frowning hard. You really are clueless, huh? He pulled a glowing crescent rock from his pocket, tossing it right down. Arthur, touch this magical stone. If your soul is truly yours, this rock won't do a single dramatic thing. I dramatically rolled my eyes. Are you guys seriously obsessed with comic books and wild movies? What possession? Do you honestly think you are epic immortal cultivators? Noman's voice turned absolutely freezing. Arthur, touch it willingly right now or expect some forceful special measures. I just laughed playfully, leaning way back in my comfy chair. I am a totally innocent citizen who did nothing wrong. If you officers use weird force on me, aren't you terrified the massive Sterling family will strike back? Noman glared at me super intensely. It is just placing your hand on a rock. Why refuse this? You are definitely possessed. She and Vance swapped a serious look, standing up and stepping closer. My eyes went totally sharp. The absolute second Noman tried grabbing my wrist, I swiftly dodged. So, you actually want to get physical here? Is this how your elite bureau actually operates? Noman looked furious, while I just scoffed with total confidence. Young Master Sterling, if you are truly innocent, it is merely a stone, so why fight? I narrowed my eyes, a confident smirk naturally appearing. So what do you and I make of this? I was born fiercely rebellious, force me, and I'll push back. Stick with me here. Vance grabs Noman's glowing hand, instantly stopping her spiritual energy, and shakes his head. That is the guy Chloe likes. Noman scoffs, letting her spiritual energy fade away. Vance looks at me. Young Master Sterling, smart men yield to circumstances. Let us not make this messy. My expression remains perfectly calm. If you too seriously force my hand, I definitely cannot win. So, how about this instead? Let us make a bet. If I touch this stone and nothing happens, you two owe me an apology. If it actually reacts, I will not run away, and you can handle me however you see fit. Noman glares at me, her voice dripping with pure hostility. Do you even realize who we are? And you demand an apology? If Chloe did not actually like you, do you honestly think you are qualified for me to interrogate? Do you really deserve this? Do not be ungrateful. Smirking, I pull my phone from my pocket and wave it right before their eyes. Awesome. A police officer insulting a good citizen who reported crimes to save someone. I have recorded absolutely everything. Wonder what the internet will say when I post this online. Noman is absolutely furious. You dared to record us? Are you not afraid of the severe consequences? I look completely unbothered by her. So, do you dare to eliminate me? Vance holds back the enraged Noman, glaring at me coldly. Young Master Sterling, we accept your bet. I smile. See, was that not simple? Why waste so much breath? I step forward casually, placing my hand right on the mysterious stone. Absolutely zero reaction from it. Watch closely here. I slap my other hand down too. Just a piece of junk. Rock. What possession? You guys are complete lunatics. Can incredibly paranoid people actually become cops? I seriously doubt the true legitimacy of your police badges. Noman is so furious, she looks ready to totally explode. Honestly, if Vance had not been holding her back, she definitely would have taught me a painful lesson. Pulling my hands back, I squint at the two of them. Is that enough? If not, I could literally hug this rock. Vance just massages his forehead, nursing a massive headache. Zero reaction from the stone perfectly proves the person standing right before him was not possessed. They had genuinely misunderstood everything. For Chloe's sake, apologizing is not a deal breaker. We are sorry we misunderstood you, young Master Sterling. I turned to Noman, tilting my chin at her challengingly. Taking a deep breath, she extremely reluctantly spits out her forced apology, thinking quietly to herself. If not for Chloe, I would not care if you survived or faded away. I crinkle my eyes into a cheerful smile. Can I leave? Vance nods. Yes, sorry for the trouble. Walking out of that police station, my expression gradually turns completely cold. I have literally never possessed anyone. Nobody could ever be absolutely certain if they had been subjected to body snatching or not. I just know that forcibly taking over another person's body requires a very long time to fully adapt, and it could cause severe backlash unless the soul is incredibly powerful. But ever since transmigrating into this body, my soul has been perfectly synchronized, without a single trace of awkward rejection. Winning that bet just now meant I could easily continue being the eldest young master of the Sterling family. You and I both know I would just run. The world is incredibly vast. Surely there is a place for me. Luckily, I won. A sleek black Rolls-Royce pulls directly up to the police station entrance. Spotting me, driver Wang quickly opens the door and steps out. Uncle Wang, do you happen to know where the city antique market is? Take me there to have a look. Driver Wang nods respectfully. Yes, eldest young master. He then opens the rear door for me. Leaning back in the seat, I planned to take a nice nap when my phone buzzed. It was a few frantic messages from Chloe. You did not reply to my good night text yesterday. Did the cops call you again? I heard Vance wanted to talk to you. They did not make things difficult for you, did they? I glance at the texts, completely ignoring them. Shortly after, Chloe messages again. Are you out right now? My racing team actually has a match this afternoon. Do you want to come and watch? Frowning, I reply, not interested. Chloe keeps spamming me though. If you come watch me race, I will let you hold my hand. The moment she sends it, she unsends it completely. My eyes light up with amusement. Why unsend it so fast? I already saw it. Chloe sends an emoji, hitting its head, followed by a string of dots. I raise my eyebrow, smiling. I find this girl quite amusing, using her own hands to bait me like that. Honestly, I not deny feeling somewhat tempted. Heading to the antique market, I type. On the other end, Chloe jumps right up from her sofa, her face flushed with excitement. Arthur proactively telling her his exact location. What did that mean? It meant he was inviting her to come along. It proves he has feelings for her. Thrilled, Chloe replies, "I'm going too." I smile smugly. "You can come, but you pay for everything." "No problem. Since when do I lack money?" Locking my phone, I chuckle softly. "Uncle Wang, pull over right here. I will go in alone." Driver Wang checks the rearview mirror, looking extremely worried about this. "Young master, shady characters are everywhere here. I cannot let you go alone." I smile. "It is fine. Trust me, you and I will love what happens next. Come along with me. You and I are jumping right into this." Driver Wang parked outside, so I sent him back. "No need to wait for me. If Grandpa asks, just tell him I am hanging out with Miss Chandler today." Right at the antique market entrance, Chloe walked up, flashing a super bright smile, and handed me some milk tea. I took it with a tiny smirk. Who would have ever guessed the rich Chandler heiress drank normal stuff? Chloe just shrugged it off. "Even rich girls are normal people sometimes," she joked. "This stuff is completely amazing. So how could I ever say no?" I raised an eyebrow, popped the straw through the plastic lid, and took a sip. My favorite honey lemon flavor. This city antique market was exactly what Uncle Wang said it was. Totally chaotic and insanely unpredictable. Tons of folks were sitting directly on the dirt, tossing a totally random mix of old items down to make quick little pop-up stalls. The whole place was super packed with people dreaming of finding treasure and getting rich. Instantly, Chloe tilted her head, looking at me super curiously. "What are we doing here?" I grinned. "Ever heard of rock gambling?" Right there in the market, my magical spirit vision caught a raw jade rock glowing with insane amounts of ancient energy. Chloe happily paid the high price, and I took it. That exact night, I absorbed its pure power, smashing my human limits and officially leveling up to the foundation establishment tier. Now pay attention here. A week later, that wild outdoor survival television show finally started up. Colin desperately wanted to embarrass me on live TV, secretly dragging a massive wild boar closer, but my two giant demon wolves let out a deeply terrifying aura that sent that beast running away in total fear. Completely panicking, Colin violently shoved poor Vanessa straight into the messy mud just to save his own skin. High-definition cameras perfectly filmed his cowardly move. His innocent victim disguise was finally totally ruined. Vanessa lost her blind trust instantly, and internet fans absolutely roasted the fake Heir. But the real epic fight was not on the screen. Deep in the woods, I tracked the nasty dark magic tied to Colin. The exact thing, stealing all my family's good luck. Inside a super dark cave, I found the evil boss, an ancient villain who planted Colin in our house years ago to drain away our wealth. With my awesome new foundation tier power, I ditched those flimsy paper charms. I called down actual heavenly lightning. A massive beam of purple energy smashed down, completely burning the old monster to ash. With just one kick, I broke the dark altar, freeing the stolen luck and sending it rushing back to the Grand Manor. You saw that coming, right? With the dark magic gone, my family's crazy, blind love for Colin vanished into thin air. He was finally revealed as a totally useless and manipulative little fraud. Grandpa felt our family fortune returning and completely lost his patience with him. He cut Richard and Laura out of the will and tossed them out. Without magic, Colin was left entirely alone. Meanwhile, our massive family business grew insanely fast under Tiffany's super steady leadership. As for me, I kept my 4% stake and tossed the annoying corporate stress to my sister. Relaxing in my brand new mountain villa, I watched my two giant wolves sunbathing while Chloe sat right beside me. Her totally perfect, manicured hand rested easily inside mine. "So, Magic Master," Chloe teased me, her eyes forming a happy smile. "Are you finally falling for me? Or just my hands?" I smiled back, looking at the gorgeous shape of her fingers. Normal life is mostly annoying, but sometimes you find an absolute masterpiece you want to keep. My real dad might look like the richest guy around, but the truest form of wealth is pure, absolute power. So what do you and I learn? In this new life, I control absolutely everything.